was listening.
Yeah.
I mentioned a fast-rising draft prospect whose position is now minus 300.
Yeah, I'm not liking this one, buddy. I'm not liking this one.
Cam Whitmore, minus 300 to go under. What do you mean you're not liking under 5.5?
Well, because I've got a bet on him to go 5.
Yeah.
Do you too? I believe you do too.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and that's the thing. So, what I was going to bring up was the fact that he seems all but guaranteed to be a top 5 pick. He's one of the faster risers. A lot of people like it. As you mentioned, I've heard Matt Brown talk about this. We've talked about this a lot on the network. I know a lot of people balk at prices, but in an information-based event where every bit of information is pointing to Cam Whitmore as a top 5 selection, minus 300, I think, is a price that is still palatable for anybody out there. Because I'm going to say, Kelly, if that's going to be up closer to draft time, there's a chance that thing gets up to minus 450 or higher for Cam Whitmore to go under 5.5. Or, here's the other one, for the draft position to actually drop to 4.5. That's going to be an interesting part, too, which is what you're alluding to here. At one point, you thought we can offset some of this juice by just betting him to go 5th overall, because it seemed that the Pistons might be a team that is infatuated with him. However, I mentioned Kevin O'Connor's most recent mock draft. He had Houston drafting Cam Whitmore, and it does seem that this is picking up some steam, that there's a realistic possibility, should Scoot Henderson be off the board and Brandon Miller, as we expect, that the Houston Rockets could go in Cam Whitmore's direction, as opposed to Amen Thompson, who is one of the names that has been thrown out there.
Yeah, I am. That's the things I've been reading and hearing a lot too.
Because think about it, it makes sense. Amen Thompson is Amen Thompson is what's that?
4th overall pick odds right now. Amen Thompson is minus 130. Cam Whitmore plus 240.
Yep.
But I'm with you. I've heard a lot more of it the past week or so than I had any time before that.
And here's the thing. Amen Thompson is, if he fits a position, if you will, because we're, again, positionless basketball is kind of a thing, he would be a lead guard. He would be a guy who runs your offense. He'd be a facilitator. He would be a guy who handles your offense. The Houston Rockets do have Kevin Porter Jr. They do have Jalen Green, and they might get James Harden. So Amen Thompson wouldn't have a really great role with them, a guy like a Cam Whitmore or another one of these wing players. And that's why I think you're also starting to see that push with Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson might also fit a role better as an off-ball candidate, wing player type. And I think that's why you're starting to see some numbers around Amen start to slip there, too. It's just because of his position. But Houston's pretty intriguing because Amen Thompson's been tied to Houston quite a bit. But positionally, especially if they're going to go hard, it makes a lot more sense to go in a different direction.
I'm getting a little nervous with that because all I have is the pick for him to go 5th, the bet for him to go 5th. I didn't have access to a top 5 market. But getting back to your original point, of like, hey, if you can lay minus 3, go
it's
do
over.
it, baby. There you go.
Yay, 7-game losing streak is snapped. Go Mets. Go ahead.
If you have the bankroll to lay minus 3, if you have the bankroll to lay minus 300, I think it's a good point. Like him going top 5, what me and you were talking about, what you're hearing me complain about right now is whether he's going to go 4 or 5. Right. But I haven't heard anybody talk about him going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 recently. I mean, in the past couple months, we had Rafael Barlow on the pod. What was that, 3 weeks ago at this point?
NBA Big Board. Check him out.
3 weeks ago. He loved him at 5, but all I've heard since then is either affirmation of him at 5 or that he's going 4.
Yep. So it's he's one of the ones that's moving quite a bit. I also just want to update for anybody who's wondering, too, a couple of the moves that we've had in this market. So I know a lot of people are probably just getting into the NBA draft either now or in a couple of weeks. But to give you an update of where we've been for some of these. So, for example, Anthony Black, shooting guard out of Arkansas, originally 8.5 shaded to the under at minus 160. Still there, but the under is now minus 190. So some traction that Anthony Black is going to end up going inside the top 8. Asar Thompson, originally 5.5 shaded to the over at minus 230. This is one like plus price you might worth looking at. Asar Thompson now minus 260 to the over, so a little bit of a bump there, about a 20-cent, 30-cent bump in that regard. We've talked about a lot about Cam Whitmore. One of the other names that is worth pointing out here, Grady Dick. His initial position was 9.5 shaded to the over at minus 150. That's been since adjusted 10.5 over minus 165. So maybe a little bit of a slide there for Grady Dick, or more people tying him to Orlando.
Yeah, I know. Luke Swain had a bet over 9.5 on Grady Dick. I think that helps move things. At Vegas Refund, you'll see him a lot on the network. Numbers Game, Follow the Money. I know he's been on, and we'll be hearing him on Hardwood Handicappers next week with us. So that was one of the ones I wanted to point out quick. Is Victor Wembanyama's teammate. Bilal Koulibaly, which I'm sure I'm butchering that name. I'm sorry, Bilal. But he has been quickly rising. JVT, he's a guy that, look, he's on the same team as Wembanyama, was hurt at the beginning of the year, so we didn't get to see him out here in that kind of Vegas showcase. I believe he didn't play in either game when they were playing the G League Ignite out here at the beginning of the season, which everybody, I'm sure, saw the highlights of on SportsCenter. But, man, he's been rising quick. Like, he went from, I heard 3 weeks ago, hey, this guy might end up being a first-round pick, to 2 weeks ago saying, hey, this guy might be a lottery pick. Right now, he's over under 11.5, and he's getting steamed to that under.
The other name I'm very interested in is Taylor Hendricks out of UCF.
Yeah.
Just 3-and-D type player that's going to fit a lot of molds that people want. We actually haven't seen a ton of movement. 8.5 shaded to the under, -145 was the open. He's 8.5, -155 to the under, so a 10-cent bump there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hendricks is one of those that we see the price start to rise on an under.
I think he's tough because from everything.
Please stand by for a special presentation of Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
We welcome you to Garfield Stadium here in Lakewood, Ohio. Western Reserve Radio and the iMeda1 network is proud to bring to you Week 2 of the Tri-Point Football League. Steel City Bobcats, they make their way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, up to Cleveland to take on the 2-0 Cleveland Cobras. Hello, everyone. Jim Craven with you, along with the coach, Bob Gessler, here high atop Garfield Stadium. Dave Ferris back in Youngstown, keeping an eye on us, making sure we sound good as we get ready for Week 2 on another beautiful evening here in northeastern Ohio. Take a look at the Cobras from last week. They hosted the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders right here on Western Reserve Radio. Came away with a 14-6 win over the much-improved Rough Riders from the Youngstown area. And the scoring went something like this last Saturday. It was Harlan Page with a 36-yard fumble recovery via a Robert Littlejohn strip sack. And that would be followed up later in that first half by a Keyshawn Bacote 9-yard touchdown pass from Slap Thompson. Just before the half, the Rough Riders would get a block punt. They would take that in for 6, could not convert on the extra point. And there would be no scoring in the second half. And that's where we would get our final. The Cobras would get the win by a score of 14-6. Steel City Bobcats, on the other hand, they also get a defensive win, 7-6 over the Pittsburgh Saints. And, Coach, we have to take a look at that win for the Bobcats as they come in here to Cleveland. The Saints, their opponent last Saturday, also just in recent weeks beat the Erie Express from the Gridiron Developmental Football League. And if you follow or you think about it logically, that's a big win that says a lot about this team here in the Bobcats beating the Pittsburgh Saints.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's an outstanding job by them. And just looking at them in pregame here, they got some big boys up front. So Cleveland's Cobras got to be ready for them. They got some decent size. So, and we're hearing that the quarterback, he likes to run. So they're going to have to keep him inside and don't give him any alleys because he will take off. So they've got to stay in their zones and have a linebacker spy on him, and they can control their destiny.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to watch some film before this game, and one thing we did see, the quarterback position for the Steel City Bobcats, something you have to keep in on. Very fast, can find the lanes, can get upfield, and if the defensive end and tackles are kind of snooping around too deep in the backfield, that could cost them.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a little heat off that edge. But, again, the issue is you cannot go with whatever they run on defensive ends or linebackers or whatever. They've got to not get upfield too much, and if they do where they're coming upfield too much, they're just going to tuck it and get underneath them. So they're going to have to, as they're coming in, squeeze, depth to him, and then go after him. So they got to really bottleneck him in.
Pre-game here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood will continue. We're going to step aside for a timeout.
Easy for you to say.
It's going to get better tonight, I hope. When we come back, our own Mark Means had an opportunity this week on By All Means to speak with Cleveland Cobras owner Jesse Caldwell, and we will bring you that conversation right here after the break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network. We're back right after this.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Hey, Mark.
Always good to catch up with you, but especially when you're 2-0, you got to be feeling pretty good.
We are. I was trying to think the other day, the last time we were 2-0, and it might have to go back to 2015. Yeah, you remember what year that was?
Yes, I definitely do.
The championship run year.
Yeah, that was a fantastic year. And you know what? This year, it's been interesting. It's kind of reminiscent, too, because the defense has been absolutely fantastic so far. I mean, you look inside the numbers so far, and you're giving up less than 5 points a game right now.
Oh, it's that defense is just a physical explosion. And we haven't had everybody together yet in the 2 games. So I'm hoping this week everybody's there, and we'll see a whole different defense.
And you look at the defense giving up 4.5 points per game. The offense, about 17 points per game. It seems like the defense kind of carrying things early on, and the offense is doing enough to win you some ball games.
Well, we have a 65-man roster, and our depth is just crazy. We've got 8 offensive linemen, and our offense right now, the line is probably one of the best we've ever had. We just missed opportunities. If you remember in Saturday's game, on that first drive, I think the first play, we had a shot down the line, and it just came up another step or 2 short of being a touchdown to start the game off.
If you can connect on a couple of those big plays, you don't know what is going to happen. When you look at it overall through 2 games, you played 1 game in the league, you played 2 games overall. What's your overall thoughts on how the team is playing as a unit?
Well, their defense is just outstanding, and I think it's just going to get stronger as the year goes on. And we scored this week, and we also had a pick 6 called back Saturday by a block in the back, or it would have been even more. That defense is just going to be crazy, and that, like 2015, it carried us throughout the season. Our offense will get it going as that line builds and we get more chemistry together as the season goes on. We'll be fine. I expect just more things this week out of that offense, and that defense, of course, will be even better as long as we get more of our starters there. It'll even be more tremendous.
Let's talk about this weekend. You've got the Steel City Bobcats this weekend. Kind of give us a little bit of a preview of this matchup.
Well, the Steel City Bobcats have been around for a couple of years. They were a big playoff team in their league last year. And I think I want to say that they lost in their semi-conference championship. So this is a good team. In this league, we'll see how they compare to our teams. We know that they're a very aggressive team. Their ends are very fast. They have some DBs that are very good, very quick. We'll see how our defense handles their offense. We're hoping we're aggressive and we're physical, and we stop them like we have been doing teams. And we're hoping this weekend we figure out this offense and put some big points up.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if the ends are that aggressive. If you can, potentially catch them with some quick hitting plays and some opportunities to take some shots downfield.
Well, that's the game plan, and then some. But yeah.
When you look at the schedule, we kind of talked through text a couple weeks back. There's not a lot of travel this year that you may have faced in years past. You've got, one game coming up here in a couple weeks. It's about a 4-hour bus ride, but all in all, that's not as bad as it's been for you in years past.
No. Last year we had to go to Columbus. We had 3 bus trips last year. This year we only have 1. So I'm looking forward to going down to Port City, which is down in Portsmouth, Ohio. For those that are NFL guys, back in the late 20s, early 30s, Portsmouth had an NFL team, and actually in 1930, they won the NFL championship. And has and that stadium they built in 1927 is still there, and we're going to be playing in it.
Wow.
So this stadium is almost 100 years old.
That's definitely some football history for.
Oh yeah, Jim Thorpe played on this field back in the day. So we're actually going to be walking on hallowed ground.
And you said this is the only bus trip for the team for the year?
Yes, correct. It's about 4 hours.
That's not too bad. I mean, you played all over the place in years past. Whether you got to go to Erie or Pittsburgh, or we've gone to West Virginia before. You mentioned Columbus,
Last
Detroit.
year we did 2 trips to West Virginia by bus.
And it seems like the divisions in this league have really helped, for the most part, eliminate these long trips. Oh,
they have, and it's only going to get better. We had 10 teams last year, and this year we have 16 teams. So that 60% increase, of course, gives us more troubles and headaches. But it's all going to come out in the wash at the end of this season. And next year we're expecting to be even better.
That was Cleveland Cobra's owner, Jesse Caldwell, talking to Mark Means on By All Means this past Tuesday. Of course, you can hear By All Means every Tuesday at 5 p.m. right here on Western Reserve Radio and all across the iMedia1 network. Take a look at the starters on offense for the Cleveland Cobras. We want to tell you in advance, and we do apologize to these young men from Steel City. We did not get a roster for them. So we're going to do the best we can to try to find out who some of these young men are and give them the credit that they are due. But we'll take a look at the starters for the Cobras on offense. Start for the front 5. It'll be Brandon Antall, Kayshawn Jones, Lamorris, L.A. Dillard, Taylor Johnson. And at right tackle, we're going to wait to see where that's going to go, as E.J. Bibbs is not going to start today. He is dressed, a little banged up, but they're going to go with the more precautionary side of this, and he will be available if needed. However, it does not look like he'll start today. The wide receiving core is going to be Eddie Bing Edwards, Antonio Boyd, Matt Wise, and Keyshawn Bacote. Keyshawn with the only offensive touchdown last week, as he caught a 9-yard touchdown from Dave Slap Thompson. The tight end will be number 17, Abe Taylor. The running back, number 3, T.J. Johnson. And quarterback will be number 11, Dion Red Carter. That is a change from Dave Thompson, Coach. You went down on the field. You spoke with Adam Rogerson and Jesse Caldwell and Jamar Fleming about this, and it was an interesting conversation. Tell us what you talked about.
Yeah, being an offensive coordinator, and he wants to make some changes. And I told him, I said, there were some things that I saw in the booth, and he agreed. Some of the stuff was the timing is off, and he understands. And, of course, we talked as OCs and said, you know what, defense is easy. Easier. I explained to him about Coach
Noble would highly disagree with that, but okay.
and that would be get quarterback. But the offense, it's going to take a little bit. I mean, it's just timing and everything. Pointed out a few things that I saw that, you can't have running backs that are just standing there. So, running backs have got to move around a little bit regardless if they're not getting the ball, so there's got to be a little misdirection. I told him, I said, I'm just not used to all this spread stuff, and he agreed. And he says, we're going to slowly start putting maybe some eye in. I told him about the stack, and he said that possibly they may do a little bit of that. So I'm glad to hear that's old school stuff coming.
And one of the concepts he was talking about is way back from August that he's been preaching selflessness. And Dave Thompson was not sat by a coach, but came to coach and said, look, I think that Deion Carter is going to be better for this game, kind of showing that that veteran leadership there that they've been looking for. That's an interesting concept there. Now, again, Dave is available today if needed, but looking ahead and trying to be that leader, he thought that Deion will be the better fit.
And you know what? That's an outstanding job, and that goes back on the coach because he has instilled in his players, and obviously this he came to him and said, I just maybe didn't get it done, or I was off a little bit, so you need to start the other quarterback, and we have to do Deion Carter, and we have to do what we need to do. So he recognizes that the offense is going to take a while. And I want to tell you something. These guys just stand on the sidelines, come over to Jesse, wish him happy, and very, very disciplined here. And I like Coach. We had a nice conversation about discipline and how things have changed from maybe 10, 15 years ago to now. And it was good conversation. And I think that he's really going to do a good job with the Cobras, and it's going to take him a while, and he understands that.
And another thing they talked about was the depth that this Cleveland Cobras roster has. A couple of players are able to sit out because they're banged up a little bit, and with 2 or 3 guys ready to step in, and that really is going to take you through a long season into the playoffs. That's such a benefit.
Yeah, and he talked about the linemen, and that's a big thing. If you could carry 8, 9, 10 linemen, if somebody goes down, next guy up, that's amazing, because that is what you have to do. You have to have that depth, and I'll tell you what, he's got some good-looking players. I look like a midget out there to a lot of these guys, but that's a good thing. And so, but again, this ought to be an interesting game, because we have a lot of size coming out there and a lot of speed, so it's going to be a chess game today.
Yeah, one thing that does stand out about the Bobcats is the enormous offensive line we were watching in warm-ups. And that is, it can be a benefit, and it can also hurt you to some degree depending on your opponent. And Cleveland feels they're deep enough right now to be able to deal with that, especially going into the late third and fourth quarter.
Well, it's all about, it's the discipline, and it's all about, can you get through a game, because some of these guys are big, so you're hoping that the attrition's going to, they did enough off-season run on their own, and we'll hope to God.
Just had the coin flip, and I believe that the Steel City Bobcats are going to receive. We didn't get it. I guess we should have talked to the officials, but they weren't here when we were down there.
Right, so
just
we're
to let
not
them
getting,
know we are here. So,
right.
But nonetheless, take a look at the Cobras defensively. At the defensive tackles, it'll be Andy Cote and Jeremiah Grayson. The defensive ends, one's going to be DeVere Glenn, the former Inglewood Duck. However, Robert Littlejohn, who had an outstanding game last week, had a strip sack that resulted in a return for a touchdown, will not play today. He is going to be down, but we'll see what the deal is going to be as far as who's going to replace him. Again, depth is the asset that Cleveland has this year. The linebackers are going to be Dontrell Noling, Marquise Hodges, Jacoby Brown, and Brandon Fleming. The corners will be Kev Fortson and Cam McCauley, and a strong safety will be Terrell Lively. And as Coach mentioned, the head coach of the Cobras is Adam Rogerson. Cobras, for the first time this year, wearing their all-white with black numerals, green detail, the black helmets with the traditional green Cobra emblem on the side, the C in the shape of the Cobra snake.
And if I may point out, we could actually read numbers on these two teams.
Both teams, broadcast-friendly uniforms this week. I want to thank them for that. Steel City Bobcats coming in their gold, blue, and black jerseys, black helmets, and blue, black, and gold pants.
Other than the black, I like the blue and gold. That was the back in the day, the St. Brennan's Golden Bears that I coached for 11 years, and I like those colors.
Well, also the East High Golden Bears.
Oh, East High Golden Bears, and the old Youngstown,
if you're from the Youngstown,
Ohio.
if you're from the Youngstown area,
if you're listening, that's absolutely.
Being a former East Side guy myself, we wore the blue and gold quite a bit growing up. As we get ready for kickoff here, Ben Lyons to kick off for the Cobras. We were talking to Jesse about him, and Ben played over in Europe, holds some kicking records over there, and that, again, another asset, especially on these kickoffs where it's going to be warm, it's going to be 85 degrees out on some days, where you can get that touchback and maybe save your special teams.
Even though I hate kickers, they could win games for you. I have to give them that credit.
And if they don't win the games for you,
then they're in the doghouse with me.
And weather beautiful here, about 81 degrees here, a little bit overcast. Sun still cascading through here as we're getting underway here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood. That ball going to head towards the end zone, and as we mentioned, a touchback is a nice thing to have if you are the Cleveland Cobras. And Steel City will start 1st and 10 at their own 20.
That's an every level. I'll tell you what, if you get a kicker in freshman level, high school, college, no matter what, kicking it in the end zone with no return, that's just a part of your defense. That is amazing. That's a great job by that young man.
And the Cobras defense have not given up an offensive touchdown here so far this year. Gave up 1 field goal on May 20th. The only points coming against Cleveland last week were on a blocked punt that was returned by the much improved Mahoning Valley Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm.
As the Bobcats now moving left to right on your devices. They'll come out in the pistol formation, one running back to the right of the quarterback, twins to the far side. Now hand off right up the middle, try to find some room. And he'll fight his way past the 30 and down to the 40-yard line. That'll be enough for a Steel City first down, and the Bobcats go right to the ground, Coach.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what they did was they blocked right, and the running back looked for that cutback, and it opened up the outside player plussed out, and he was able to redirect to the left side, and he got some yardage, and he carried a lot of players.
1st and 10 now from the Steel City 35-yard line. Same formation now, twins to the far side. And we're going to have our first flag of today, and I think they're going to have Kev Fortson for an encroachment. And, yeah.
That will drive a defensive coach nuts because he's playing corner, and all he did was kind of wasn't watching the ball and went over and said, "Hi, how you doing?" He was going to do a little dance with him.
Wasn't even a jam, Coach.
No,
he just kind of touched him. How you doing? Welcome to Cleveland.
That's all it was. Barger wanted to shake his hand, make sure his shoulder pads were good.
1st and 10 now for 1st and 5 now at the Steel City 40-yard line. Cleveland one high safety, handed off the left side, looking for room to run out past the 45, past midfield, and down near the 45-yard line. That'll be enough for another Steel City first down.
And when the DBs and linebackers are making tackles down the field, we got problems. They're attacking, they're again, blocking right, attacking left. So they saw something on that left side that it's working for them.
And again, we apologize. We do not have a roster for the Steel City Bobcats. As they'll now come out, twins to the far side. Shotgun now, formation, one back to the right. He'll go on the clap. Quick pass out to the far side. He'll fight his way out past the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. A pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for Steel City.
Yeah, it was looks like number 13, and I'll tell you what, he quick feet. They couldn't get him down. I'll tell you what, this team fights. They run after the catch and getting hit after when they're running the ball. They're doing a great job.
Playing low, too, also. Keep the knees bent, leaning forward.
Yes.
12:50 left here, first quarter. Just getting underway here. Steel City would get the ball first now. Shotgun formation, running back to each side for Steel City. Twins to the far side. Again, one high safety for the Cobras. He'll post up right around his own 29-yard line. That'll be a handoff. They'll pull it, option it out to the far side. And he'll pick up a couple yards on that. It'll bring up 3rd down for Steel City.
That's a good job by Steel City because what they did was they brought the running back to the right, and then he stuck it in the other running back's belly, and he ran with them, and he waited for that to open up, and instead of pitching it, he pulled it, and he took it. So that's a great job.
They'll mark this ball at the 37-yard line. Call it 3rd and 2, be the first 3rd down of the day for the Bobcats. Mike Marshall stepping in for Robert Littlejohn, who's a little bumped up this week. He'll take the day off. Pistol formation now for the Bobcats. Twins to the far side. They'll hand it up right up the middle. Try to find some room to run. Fight their way forward. Get close to the 35-yard line, but be pushed back. And they're going to say no gain on the play. And it'll bring up 4th down for Steel City. And, Coach, I got to assume they're going to go for it.
Yeah, that was Chris Frazier was stuck his nose in there, and boy, he saw that coming, and he absolutely was there and met him head on, low, hit him with the shoulder, and they drove back, and then all of his buddies were there.
11:08 on a running clock. Again, just underway here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood, week 2 of the Tri-Point Football League. Jacoby Brown, the high safety now for Cleveland. Pass out to the far side. It's going to be caught near the 30-yard line. And that'll be enough for a Bobcats first down. So Steel City goes for it on 4th down, and they pick it up. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line.
4th and 4, you got to play up tough. You got to be in their face and bang them off the line of scrimmage and throw their timing off. When you're playing off like that, it gives them the time to run you off and then sit, and that's exactly what happened.
Harlan Page and Andy Code, the defensive tackles. Harlan Page turning a fumble last week for a touchdown. 4 wide receiver set for Steel City, 2x2. They'll go on the clap. 3-step drop, fires out to the far side, into the corner of the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. Ran out of real estate to the far side, and it'll bring up 2nd down for the Bobcats.
He had him in the corner if he just couldn't drop it in there.
I believe that's going to be Eric Bankhead on the coverage for Cleveland. 10:04 as the clock will start. Matthew Federer will be the defensive end to the far side for the Cobras. 2x2 again as the Cobras will come across the line. That'll be Mike Marshall. I'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Bobcats, and the way Steel City's offense is moving, you're not going to do yourself any favors giving them free yards.
No, they haven't stopped him yet. So
Bobcats will go right from the line. 9:34 left here in the game. I'll hand it off again and be met in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard or two. Federer on the tackle for Cleveland. That'll bring up 3rd down.
That was big.
Well read by Matthew Federer. He was the end of the far side.
That was an outstanding drop. They come off the edge. I think they had a little game going on there because there was I got him, you got him, and they unfortunately didn't get to everybody who was coming in. So that's a good job by the offense.
Yeah, we'll call this 3rd and 7 for Steel City. 8:57 left here in this first quarter. No score so far here in Lakewood. Steel City, 3-step drop, back to pass, under pressure, and he's going to be knocked down. Harlan Page with the sack. He'll bring him down at the 40-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down for Steel City.
And they needed that bad. I mean, he just got shot out of a cannon, and he did an outstanding job. He just fought through everybody.
Talk about Harlan Page last week. 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 touchdown. That's a full day for the big man between the tackles.
That's the guy you want on your team. Let me tell you what, he come out of there like crazy.
So we'll call it, we'll make a guesstimate, 4th and 18 for Steel City. It looks like they're going to bring on the punter, try to pin them back deep. And back to return for Cleveland will be the always dangerous Willie James. 7:53 left here. As they'll count up the players for the Bobcats. And we have a flag on the play. And we'll have a delay of game. I believe that's going to be against
12 guys.
Oh, excuse me. Yep. That'd be illegal procedure or the illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution is what they called.
As you can almost hear the official up here.
Just about.
So that'll knock him back another 5 yards, which actually might be beneficial, may give him a little bit more room on the punt.
Depending on their punter.
And 1 gunner to each side. Cleveland showing a little bit of pressure. High snap. And they'll get away this rugby punt. And it'll go out of bounds. We'll see where the official's going to mark it. He'll start at the 38. Work past the 40. And they'll mark it at the 45-yard line, and that's where the Cobras will take over for the first time today. 7:21 left here in the first quarter. Cobras a little trouble in that first part of the drive. They tighten up and cause the punt.
Well, I will tell you this. I was watching some of the big guys of Steel City. I'm trying to get some numbers. I got a couple of them, so when they come back out, I'll try to get you at least what the front line looks at. They're tired. They are tired. So if the Cobras keep doing it, try to wear those big boys out, and that's what you got to do. When you got somebody outsizes you, just try to wear them out, lean on them, do what you got to do, make them chase you.
1st and 10 now for the Cobras at their own 45-yard line. Deion Red Carter at the quarterback position. T.J. Johnson will be the running back, and have one receiver to each side, 2 tight ends. Now hand off to Johnson off the left side, trying to find some room to the outside. He'll lower his shoulder, be brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain for the Cobras. Good contact by both teams.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, they're putting everybody in the box. What Cleveland's got to do now is that test the water there. Now what they got to do is some play action and sneak somebody. If they're running tights, sneak somebody in that zone, because they had everybody on there and you only had one safety deep. So if you could release a couple of guys running skinny posts, he ain't got a chance.
6:52 on this running clock. Carter now in a pistol. Again, Johnson behind him, one receiver to each side. They'll be changing the play at the line. Brill Taylor, tight end to the far side. We talked about him earlier. Tall, rangy tight end. Carter back to pass. Going to step up in the pocket under pressure. Ball's going to come loose, and it's going to go right into the hands of a Cobra, and it's going to be picked up by a Steel City player, and they're going to return it to the end zone. 45 yards for the Steel City touchdown. 6:16 of the first quarter. Bobcats get on the board.
Jameer Lofton, it's right place at the right time. That ball come popping out, and it was bouncing around, as we know what that oval ball will do. And he caught it in midair, and he just trucked it. And he had a lot of people in front of him. Cobras were still down here at the line of scrimmage, so there were some guys fighting for it, but there was no way they were catching him. He caught it on a dead run. So Cobras just gotta settle down now. That's all right. They did okay. They'll be fine. You know, quarterback, he's just got to settle himself down, but that line's got to give him some time. He can't catch the ball and go one and get rid of it when you got the blue and black jerseys right on you.
We talked to Deion Carter before the game. Rather tall, so not an issue of any kind of height, just defensive players getting their hands up there, Coach.
Getting in the backfield, and that's where the problem lies. They can't get in there that quick.
So we will have to flip sides of the field. If you kick an extra point or field goal to our right, you will kick it into somebody's deck on top of their house.
Well, they do have the net up to the right, but, you know, these guys could kick it in an eternity, for God's sake.
Yeah, so it's we're going to flip sides of the field momentarily, as Steel City now will try it for the extra point. Bobcats getting the 7-6 win over the Pittsburgh Saints last week. And the Cobras defense still having not given up an offensive touchdown yet. Snap is back on the ground. Kick is up. And it is good. So with 6:16 left here in the first quarter, Steel City Bobcats return a 45-yard interception for a touchdown. They take the 7-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tyree Knight, number 2 of the Cleveland Cobras, and you're listening to the Tri-Point Football League on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network. Go Cobras.
6:16 left here, first quarter. Bobcats take the 7-0 lead over the Cobras on a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Cleveland will get the ball. Bart Evans and Willie James back to return for the Cobras. As seems like both teams equipped with a pretty good kicker there, Coach.
Yep.
As this one's going to head towards the end zone. Be picked up by the Cobras, brought out to the 25-yard line, fight his way down to the 29-yard line, and that's where the Cobras will take over for the second time today. 6:09 left here, first quarter. Cobras trail by a score of 7-0.
Yeah, it was looked like it was Bart Evans that took that ball back, so very good for him. Nice return. Well, let's see what we can do now.
Cobras will be back in action next week as they travel to Portsmouth, Ohio, to take on the Port City Spartans at Municipal Stadium. If you listen to our pregame, you heard Jesse Caldwell talking about the historical aspect there, as they had an NFL team there, Coach, in the 30s. They won an NFL championship.
I'm old, and that's way before my time.
Not much, but.
Thanks, Jim.
Twin receivers now to the far side. It'll be Matthew Wise to the far side. Eddie Edwards will be the slot to the near side, and Cleveland will take their first time out. Coach, if you're coming off a turnover like that and you maybe want to get back to the fundamentals a little bit,
maybe
some solid plays.
Yeah, some question there. So I mean, they saw maybe an alignment, so they need to adjust. But I'll tell you what, Steel City looks sharp. I'll tell you what, they get after it. Big guys up front, so this will be a good test. Now I see why they maybe gave Erie a little bit of trouble.
Well, no, that would have been the Pittsburgh Saints. This team beat the Pittsburgh Saints.
Yes,
so,
I'm sorry.
Again, we talked about that progression, so you got to think this team is for Rio here again. We don't know many of their names, but nonetheless,
trying.
so far we've seen this is a good matchup so far, man for man.
I apologize on that. Wrong information by me. It's inner city stuff. It happens.
You were right on the city. It's Pittsburgh.
Well, it's just, yeah.
Carter now with trips receivers to the far side. Wise will be the far receiver. T.J. Johnson will be behind Carter. Carter with the snap. Fires over the middle and is going to overshoot Eddie Edwards. And it's going to fall harmlessly into the turf.
His release was real early. I don't know if he's looking over to try to get it over top of the defensive line, but he's lucky that one wasn't picked. He's got to calm down, run some safe things outside. You got to be careful of this stuff inside because them backers are there.
Carter now with the shotgun. Boyd be the receiver to the near side alone. He'll fire that, looking for Boyd. Going to catch it at the 40, brought down at the 47-yard line. Just a quick slant there as the Cobras now going to go up-tempo, get right back to the line. 1st and 10 now, 5:43 left here first quarter.
Nice and safe.
Receivers 2 by 2 now. Johnson still behind Carter in the pistol. Cleveland now calling the plays from the line. Dion Red Carter at quarterback this week. He'll step up in the pocket, looking for some room to run, going to make a move, and he's going to get out. May have picked up a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Cobras.
He gets past that second wave and that tackle that got him. I'll tell you what, he had some running room, so it was a good play on his part. He had nothing. The coverage was good downfield, so they got to give him a little bit more time, though. The defense is getting there, so they have got to sit back on their haunches. That offensive line got to dig in, and they got to square up and grab that, as we say, not grab, but gently
That's
have
a flag, Coach.
Gently grab that breastplate, keep the elbows, and hang on.
McCote and Boyd, the near side receivers, 2 by 2. Carter, 3-step drop back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, trying to find some room. He's going to be brought down in the backfield, but he'll make it out to the midfield straight. Pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd and 7 now for the Cobras.
Again, unfortunately, they're going for things on the outside deep. They need to go intermediate patterns or shorter patterns because it's that way that quarterback can get the ball and get it out of there fast.
Apologize for the camera work. We're kind of doing this on our own this week, so might move around a little bit.
Yeah, because he's got the screen, and I don't know what I'm looking at.
Boyd and McCote, the near side receivers, 3 receivers to the far side. Carter will be in an empty backfield as they'll spread him out. 3:55 left here, first quarter. Carter sets his feet, going to pass, going to be tipped, go off the hands of T.J. Johnson and fell harmlessly to the turf. That'll bring up 4th down, and those tips are causing the Cobras, and it's going to probably give a little bit of heartache to some of this coaching staff.
Yeah, they needed to throw that pattern on second down and then a little bit more, because even if he would have caught us, still would have been fourth down. They probably would have got maybe about 3 yards on it.
Ben Lyons coming out to do the punting duties for the Cobras. It'll be Steve Anthony. The wide receiver will be the long snapper for Cleveland. Clock continues to run, 3:31 left here, first quarter. Steel City Bobcats with a 7-0 lead. Trying to count up the players on the punt team. Punt team, the Achilles heel of the Cobras last week.
Yep.
An illegal substitution, and
yeah, 13 guys on the field. 12 guys. Excuse me.
At that point, it could have 15. Would have been the same. Would have been the same flag. So
yeah, there's 12 guys. Absolutely. That's why he started out, then he brought him back, and then they were running him out, and I'd already counted. That's me. And I saw they already had 11, so I don't know what they were looking at. But, again, this is special teams. They got to get this straightened out.
Matt Federer will come off the field for Cleveland. This was the problem for the Cobras last week, was the punt team. Actually, the punt team for both teams were the issue. Ben Lyons, a kicker, will line up 15 yards. We'll call it between 14 and 15 yards behind Steve Anthony, the long snapper. And a good snap as Lyons will get this one away, and it'll be a decent kick as it will land inside the 25 and roll down inside the 10 and out at the 7-yard line. You couldn't ask for a better punt, and Ben Lyons continues to impress from the kicking position coach.
Yeah, and there's Brent. He walked over like he was swinging a golf club. Okay, I understand you guys. But that's a great punt. That's what they needed. Now what they need to do is shore up that inside and watch that right side, because they seem to be attacking the right side of Cleveland's defense. So now it's got to be, we got to get there.
So the Bobcats will take over 1st and 10 at their own 7-yard line. 2:27 left here, first quarter. Bobcats with the 7-0 lead. That coming by way of a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown. And we will reiterate, we did not receive a roster from Steel City. So again, we apologize to those young men and their families if they are listening. Steel City now receivers 2 by 2. He'll hand us off the left side, looking for room to run. Coach trying to bring him down. Couldn't get to him, but he'll get some help from the backside. Matt Federer will bring him down right along the line of scrimmage, and there'll be no gain on the play.
Yeah, Cole was in there, and Federer slowed him down, and then he cleaned him up. So that's a good job. That's what they have to do. But that's a good job by the defensive line, because he had nowhere to go, and they were able to plug that outside, and he kind of slowed down, and then the wash got him.
Yeah, it looked like Andy Cote working right along the line of scrimmage
exactly.
there. Trying to stretch the play out.
Depth the heels and then work down the line, and they will come to you.
You know, we talked about being over-aggressive and did a nice job in that instance. Again, receivers 2 by 2, 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. Back to pass. Fire out to the left side. Going to be caught and brought down at the 13-yard line. We'll see where they give him the credit for. Indeed, it will be the 13, so we'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Eric Bankhead, boy, I'll tell you what, he saw that ball and he timed that perfect. So the receiver caught the ball and it was just bang, bang, and he took him right down. So now we got to hold him here, keep him pinned, and then we'll come out of here with decent field position.
So are you, if you're Coach Noble, do you get quarterback?
Get quarterback, for sure.
2 by 2 again are the receivers for Steel City. 1:02 left here in this first quarter. Bobcats back to pass under pressure, and it's going to be wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. I believe that was going to be Andy Cote on the initial contact, and then a host of Cleveland Cobras, including Harlan Page, would get in on that one. And as we found out with Harlan Page, you might want to get out of the way.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. He saw Page coming, and I think he said, whoop, and sat down. The rest of them were there. That's a great job. That's what they need to do. They boxed him in. They gave him no lanes, so they got to him and went to take off.
Bobcats now will bring out the punt team. And they're going to be inside the 10-yard line, Coach. So You got Willie James back to return. One of the faster guys you'll see in this league. Do you take a shot at maybe getting in there?
Yeah, I think they're going to let the clock run out too, Jim.
4 seconds left here in this first quarter. And the coach is right. They will let this one wind down as the first frame comes to an end here in Lakewood, where the Steel City Bobcats take a 7-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Coach's favorite return music as we flip sides of the field here in Lakewood.
They almost got Jim. They almost got caught with 12 guys again.
Sometimes I see a lot of. And we had a flag on the play. They're going to wave it off, and
he got off before they blew the whistle.
Okay. Marquise Hodges was a little concerned, didn't understand what they had done wrong, and he was right. So Bobcats now in punt formation. As they're going to fake it, it's going to be brought out to the 10, 15-yard line, past the 20 and down at the 25-yard line. And the Bobcats pick up a first down on a fake punt. And again, that will drive a coaching staff insane.
Hey, especially when you got them backed up. I want to tell you something. May I say, that takes some kahunas to do it from there. Let me tell you. Wow. And they did it, and they saw something, and it opened up. And, I mean, he had the hole.
First and 10 now at the Bobcat 25-yard line. 14:22 here on the clock here as we just begin second quarter action here in Lakewood. Bobcats with a 7-0 lead over the Cobras.
I'm watching 51, and what was the show? I don't know. Return of the Titans, Billy Bob.
I think you're confused. I think you just melted about 3 movies there.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues. Yeah. Billy Bob. I tell you what, it's a big boy.
He is healthy. As they'll go twin receivers to the near side. On a quarterback sneak. Get past the line of scrimmage, get hemmed up a little bit, and then cleaned up at the 30-yard line. Carlos Alexander making the initial contact and then getting some help from the rest of the defense.
I'll tell you what, they're moving some people around, but they're just big up front, and they're able to just screen them off, and they're opening them holes. That hole was wide open off tackle. So, again, they just got to keep their ground, stay low on these big guys, and they got to wear them out.
Yeah, again, we watched some film in there. We saw the quarterbacks, the quarterback runs. Again, just taking a step back, getting through the line here. As they'll come out in pistol formation, one running back to the right of the quarterback. One receiver to each side. They'll go on the clap, hand off the right side. Big hole there. They'll get past the 35 and down at the 37-yard line. Make that the 38. That'll be enough for a Steel City first down.
They're going to have to do something up front. They're going to have to start running some twists, or they're going to have to run some blitzes. Because these guys, all they're doing is big on big. And when I tell you it's big, these guys are just pushing them everywhere. So they got to stay low, or if you're going to fire off and bury. Don't let them get those alleys.
Brill Taylor now coming at the right end. Federal come off for the Cobras. 12:26 left here in the second quarter. Bobcats now with the handoff off to the right side, looking for some room to run past the 40-yard line. They have made it down to the 42-yard line. Second down now for Steel City.
Hard run by, it looked like number 7 for them. And I'll tell you what, he hit that hole hard, and Cobras were there and stopped him. But, I mean, it was a gain of 5 yards. He had a good head of steam on him, and that's what you want as a running back. He's a big boy.
Anthony Neal check in for the Cobras. Mike Marshall will come off as the clock continues to run, 11:51. Bobcats slowing the pace down a little bit. One of the better run games we've seen so far here in the Tri-Point Football League. Pistol formation now. One receiver to each side. One tight end to the far side for Steel City. Now hand off straight up the middle. And Anthony Neal is going to bring him down right at the legs for the Cobras. Well read by the Cobra defensive end.
And Cole was in there too. He had that snuffed out, and he got his hands out and was able to keep his feet going and beat his blocker. So that's an outstanding job by him because he's inside.
7-0 is the Bobcat lead over the Cobras. Coming by way of a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown, as we are just under 11 minutes to play here in this second quarter. Bobcats get the 7-6 win over the Pittsburgh Saints last week in their defensive battle, as they'll now go twin receivers to the near side, and they'll flex one out to the far side. Shotgun formation, one running back to each side of the Steel City quarterback, as Harlan Page showing some footwork, I guess, up front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want Harlan Page standing over me in a stand-up position either. Quick pass out to the far side, and
great job.
He's going to be brought down at the 41-yard line. Kev Fortson on the textbook tackle for the Cobras.
Now they have to be careful here because now they saw what they can do, so they got to be very careful on special teams if that's what they're going to do, because they've already got caught.
Eddie Edwards will check in for the Cobras, as will Deshaun Johnson. Hodges also will check in on the punt return team. Willie James looking for an opportunity to return here, return one here, as Mike Marshall came on, and then he'll come back off. He'll count up the players, make sure they have 11 this time.
They have confusion.
5-yard penalty, Coach. If I'm Steel City, I'm probably going for it if that happens. So Willie James back to return. He'll post up right around his 14-yard line. And kind of a flag on the play. False start coming up against Steel City. Not a whole lot of hurt there for the Bobcats, but 5 yards the other way, he may have gone for it on 4th.
Yeah, but now they still have to be aware, because it's obviously the Bobcats will go for it at any point in time on the field, because they were in the end zone. And they got that first down on that fake punt, so they have to be aware.
Great direct snap by the long snapper there, Coach.
Yeah, we've done a few of those.
You never go wrong with a good long snapper.
Yeah, exactly.
High snap.
Except when
it's going to go back past the 15-yard line. Punter under all kinds of stress. He'll throw it out of bounds. And the Cobras are going to end up with great field position on a high snap. And then we're going to have a flag on the play. It's going to come after the play is called. And I see I believe Lynn Townsend walking away, clapping his hands. We'll see what the call is. If it's a dead ball foul, then it's going to be half the distance.
Because what happened was he threw the ball forward, and I believe you can't do that, and I believe that's a penalty.
I don't know, Coach. I saw it. Okay, it looks like they might wave this one off. But it looked like it came after the penalty or after the play. As Lynn Townsend was walking away, it looked like he and a Bobcats player were having some interaction. And I think you're right. At this point, they're just going to wave this off. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Cobras at the Bobcat 25-yard line. 8:55 left here in this second quarter. Cobras starting with their best field position of the day.
Well, here we go now. Now we got to play smart here. Do your job up front, and the rest will come, because that's it so far. It's the O-line and D-line that have been under control.
Trips to the far side now. Tyree Knight will be the receiver to the near side. They'll pitch it out to the far side. It'll be TJ Johnson trying to cut up the field, and he'll make it back to the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Actually didn't hit the ground, didn't hear a whistle, and we'll hear it now, but some confusion. They'll say, no, you were down at the 25, but a good mind by TJ Johnson to get up and keep moving.
And that's what you do, because I'm with you, Jim. I did not hear a whistle, so got to do what you got to do. If you don't hear that whistle, you just keep going.
8:30 left here in this first half here in Lakewood. Beautiful evening here as temperature drops just below 80 degrees now.
Yeah, how about that? Last time we left Youngstown, it was 82. We came up here, it was 72. It got a little cold, and now it's
just a little over an hour away.
Yeah.
Changing some things here.
Changed.
So Antonio Boyd will be the receiver to the far side. He'll break the huddle early. You'll have Darryl Golson to the right of him in the slot. Twin receivers to the near side as well. That'll be Bart Evans and Tyree Knight.
We got the slant to this side. He's way off. The linebacker ain't out.
Carter rolling out to his right, looking downfield. He's under pressure, and he'll head towards the sideline, and that's going to be a late hit.
Talent development.
It'll be the late hit on Steel City. And that is a mental mistake by the Bobcats. Again, personal foul coming up against the visitors. That'll be half the distance to the goal, Coach. That's going to be an automatic first down.
Yep, automatic first down, half the distance. That's a good job. Hey, we'll take what they give us.
And I stand corrected. College rules. I don't know if that's a first down or not.
Well, it depends on the spot of where he was out, right?
And that will be.
Yeah,
so indeed, the official is indicating first down.
Yeah.
So it will be 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
And I just want to, mention that was in the play, and that's sometimes the drawing. This has been a clean game. There is, always John, but I don't see anything that all sportsmen seem to be good. I see a lot of guys picking each other up.
Carter in the pistol formation. T.J. Johnson behind him, 2 receivers to each side. Hand it off to Johnson. Johnson trying to cut back in the middle. He'll pick up some yards, maybe pick up around 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for Cleveland.
Good job on the center part of that offensive line. They got to their blocks. They got them turned. That's a great job. They're going to hurry up. That's going to throw it, and then that's what they got to do. They got to wear this defense out.
Just under 7 minutes left here in this first half. Cleveland looking to get on the board. They trail 7-0. Pistol formation again for Carter. Knight and Evans to the near side. He'll hand off to Johnson. Johnson looking for room to the outside. He's got a lane. Went to the outside. Coach, I think he may have missed that. Maybe picked up a yard on the play. He'll get down to the 9-yard line.
He plants that left foot and heads to the end zone. His momentum, he walks in the end zone. He kept stringing it out. And here's the thing. Read your block. The blocker had, and I would say, look for the rear end of your blocker. Wherever his rear end is, that's where you cut off. I don't know why he was trying to go to his outside. There was a beautiful plus-out block on that, and he's got it right now. Put your foot in the ground and cut off his rear end. This is Pop Warner football. Doggone it, he had that. It was a touchdown.
Decaf, Coach. We're going to get you decaf.
Well, that's the offensive coordinator in me. I can't help it. You can't, you know what? You could take the coach out of his field, but you can't keep the football out of the coach.
Cleveland now 3rd down, 1 receiver to each side. Pistol formation again, Carter. Back to pass. 3-step drop. Under pressure. He's going to be brought down at the 15-yard line. And that's going to bring up 4th down for the Cobras, and that will bring on Ben Lyons
for
a 32-yard field goal.
As a quarterback, it's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippis. I better get it out of Mississippi. You got to get the ball out of it. If you get the 2, it's got to come out or make a decision. But you got to have your head on a swivel. He got hit backside, and that was all she wrote.
Now, with 5:18 left here in the second quarter, we will have to flip sides of the field to kick a field goal. As the official just indicated, so everybody will take a walk. And we want to thank you for joining us here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network. So we bring you Cleveland Cobras football here from Lakewood, Ohio. The Cobras 2-0 on the season, 1-0 in the Tri-Point Football League. Steel City coming off of a 7-6 win over the Pittsburgh Saints last week. at J.C. Stone Field in Pennsylvania. Again, an interesting progression. The Saints beat the Erie Express, who we hold in high regard in terms of tests at this level, I guess you can call it.
But as they say, did they beat them and then come off a high and weren't prepared for the next game? Sometimes that happens.
32-yard field goal attempt by Ben Lyons. Snap is back. Kick is up. And it is good. So with 4:59 left here in the second quarter, the Cobras get on the board via a 32-yard field goal by Ben Lyons. And the Cobras now trail by a score of 7-3. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
.459 left here in this half. Cleveland gets on the board via a field goal as Coach continues to count the players in here.
That's me.
Ben Lyons now with the kick. It'll be a high one. This will be returnable at the 10-yard line. And brought out to the 15 and head to the middle. Under pressure, going to go backwards and brought down. Inside the 15-yard line, they'll mark it at the 12. Bobcats look like they had a route to run, but ended up working their way backwards.
Deshaun Johnson all over that, and that's a great job because when he went to cut back, he stayed low. Oz had to be on his hips, and that was an outstanding job by that young man. He did a great job. I mean, he nailed him.
Kickoff team staying with their assignments.
Something we didn't see last week. This week they're gotten better.
So obviously that issue was being addressed by the coaches this week. Bobcats will have the ball 1st and 10. I believe that'll be the 12-yard line from our angle. Maybe the 13.
Maybe.
Left foot, right foot, Coach? Depends.
That's the difference between 4th and 1st.
Trip receivers to the far side now for the Bobcats. One single receiver to the near side. He'll have Kev Fortson on him. Man coverage now for the Cobras. 2 high safeties for Cleveland. Back to pass, looking for the one-on-one. Kev Fortson with the coverage, and it's going to be caught and dropped near midfield. Kev Fortson reaching in and knocking that one away. And it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Bobcats.
I just want to tell you, that was a magnificent pattern and throw. He put it over top of everybody into the breadbasket. He had it, and then he came down, and I'll tell you what, that's an outstanding job.
4:44 left here. If you are just joining us, the Bobcats with a 7-3 lead over the Cobras. Cobras defense holding up their end of the bargain. Cobras offense taking a little time to gel.
As we talk to Coach, and we understand, but now you got to start clicking a little bit here. Again, new quarterback, and trying something new, and that's fine.
Trips receivers again to the far side. Kev Fortson will have the one-on-one coverage to the single receiver side. As back to pass, fires out to the other side. It's going to be knocked away by Harlan Page. He got that big paw in there and knocked that back into the parking lot.
That's something that we have always worked on. You get them hands up there, cross them at the wrist, and give them no lane to throw, and that's exactly what he did, knocked the ball down. Now we got 3rd and long, and that's a great job. Now, Cobra's got to be smart here. get to the quarterback, make sure that linebackers are spying, but then know where the yardstick is and keep them inside of you.
Also want to take this opportunity. If you're watching, there are several links coming up. We'll cover this again in a moment here. Back to pass is the Bobcats. Under pressure. Ball's going to be caught inside the 30. Brought out to the 30-yard line. Fortson looking to bring him down, and he'll get out to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. And, Coach, I got to take an opportunity to tell everybody, if you are watching our Facebook feed, we have several links coming up here that are not ours. Do not buy them.
We got the scammers out.
And full force today. Two receivers to each side now for Steel City. Shotgun formation, one running back to the right. Bill Taylor be at defensive end. They'll work their way through the middle on the handoff. Make it out to the 35-yard line. We'll give them the 36. It'll be 2nd down now for the Bobcats.
That's again, we don't have a name on it. Number 7 looks like a decent size running back. Got a little bit thick. I'm going to assume he's got to be anywhere from 215 to maybe 225. Got some good legs, and when he hits that hole, he's leaning.
Tall as well.
Yeah,
kind of an Adrian Peterson type
look.
look.
I'm going to say maybe about 6'1", 6'2" from here. It's hard to say. But he keeps him shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and he's leaning. And so he's going to truck a few people here.
2:23 left here in this half. Twin receivers to each side. Read option, and they're going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down again for the Cobras. Well read by the Cleveland defense.
And that's Mr. Cohen at the bottom of the defense. That's a good job. And there was somebody else that didn't get a number. Sorry, it was all jumbled there. So, outstanding job. We have a timeout on the field.
So, timeout here with 2:06 left here in the 2nd quarter. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tyree Knight, number 2 of the Cleveland Cobras, and you're listening to the Tri-Point Football League on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network. Go Cobras.
.206 left here in this half. 3rd and 6 now for the Bobcats. Steel City with the 7-3 lead. As we have twin receivers to the far side now. One single receiver will be Fortson. Quick pass out to the far side. It's going to be dropped. That may be a fumble. And we'll see how they're going to call that. Indeed, it was a backward pass, and it was picked up by the Cobras. They're going to have 159 to work with. And you can see the running back coach got a little bit of depth as he was trying to go out on that swing pass. And the official let it play out. And it's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Cobras. That's a turnover.
So what the receiver's saying is why hit the ball. Well, guess what? If it's behind the line, you got to catch the ball. And then instead of jumping on it, as we have all taught, just to be safe, he just kind of stood there. And then that was a great job by the Cobra player. He got after it.
So heads-up play by Cleveland. They get the ball 1st and 10 now at the Bobcat 33-yard line. Just under 2 minutes here. No 2-minute warning here in the Tri-Point Football League, as we will have Boyd and Edwards, the receivers to the near side, 3 receivers to the far side. As Keyshawn Bacote will be the receiver on the very end. Carter now in a shotgun. Carter, 3-step drop, stepping up in the pocket, got some room to run. He's going to get trailed down from the back and brought down at the 38-yard line. I believe that's where they're going to mark him. Make it to 39. It's going to be a loss of 4 for the Cobras.
The trips to the left have got to keep their eyes open and be able to communicate. They had 3 to the left, and they only had 2 DBs out there. That should have been a quick pass. Right now, hot, get it, and they would have got yards. They need to, again, new quarterback. It's probably, got a little bit of jitters, but that's something that you got to recognize as a quarterback at this level. If you've got 3 of you guys and 2, get somebody the ball now.
1:16 on a running clock. It'd be second down and from behind the sticks for the Cobras. Trip receivers to the near side now. Slap Thompson now in at quarterback. Dave back to pass, looking out to his left, going to step up in the pocket. He's going to be pulled down, or almost got pulled down by his collar, but he'll be sacked in the backfield back at the 44-yard line. That'll be loss of another 4 or 5 as we're going to have a stoppage on the clock with 53 seconds left here in this half.
Well, I believe what happened was Carter's helmet came off. So NFL rules, he has to come off.
Yeah, I believe any level now they
I think
you
it
to
is.
come off the field.
Yep.
Make sure get everything fixed.
Mm-hmm. Make sure the noggin is okay.
It's very important.
Is it really?
Yep. Or you end up like me.
Or worse, like me. I got a few years on you.
And we'll be coming to you from Portsmouth, Ohio next Saturday, June 17th. We'll make the bus trip down a little, right around 4 hours. We'll take on the Port City Spartans, new to the Tri-Point Football League this year. And they are part of I believe, the West Virginia division.
We were talking about travel. A lot of these teams on long travels like that, they rent buses, but a lot of teams don't travel well. And we were talking about our Scourge team and how we went to play Zanesville in a 95-degree weather with 3 rain delays or 2, and we went down there with how many players, Jim?
Yeah.
It was a full bus, and Zanesville wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
Go down there and won it on a last-second
rain
Hail
didn't matter
Mary.
because the humidity was so
It
bad.
was killer.
53 seconds left here now. 3rd down and an eternity for the Cobras. They'll have the ball at the Bobcat 45-yard line. Maybe looking to get downfield just enough to maybe attempt a Ben Lyons field goal. Twin receivers to each side now. Deion Carter back in at quarterback. 3-step drop. He'll step up. He'll fire downfield. Looking for a receiver in the corner, and it's going to be knocked out of the hands of Boyd for Cleveland. Antonio Boyd was the intended target.
Jameer Lofton, outstanding defense. He waited. He was beat, and he made up ground on that and just got his hand in there between his and knocked it away. But that ball was well thrown right there, too.
48 seconds left here in this first half. And Ben Lyons is coming on the field. I'm sure it's not for a field goal.
If it is.
Although they said he does hold a record somewhere with a 58-yard field goal.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that's. I still think this might be out of his range, though.
Well, not only that, with 48 seconds, and you're giving them the ball right there at their own 45, I would say no. I'd say pin him back, get him where you need to be.
Questionable at best.
At best.
Lions now will count up the players. Usually we had trouble getting players on for special teams. Cleveland, too many, so that says that tells me a lot. They're willing to do it.
Yeah, exactly. A good friend of mine, who was one of my players, Paul Lamongi, won the Nebraska State Championship on a 42-yard field goal last year.
Snap going to skip off the ground. Lions now looking for the kick, and he'll get this one away. And that's going to be returnable at the 10-yard line to be picked up. And it'll work his way out to the 15. Ball's loose on the ground and picked up by another Bobcat. And he'll go down at the 20-yard line with just 32 seconds left here in this half. And you talk about that odd-shaped ball bouncing around kind of funny. And the Bobcats kind of got lucky on that one.
Boy, did they get lucky, because that thing come out of there bouncing and it went right into one of their players. So, yikes. I just want to say that I've been watching, trying to get names off of name tags and trying to get at least the offensive line. So you got 51 Jones, 73 Frosty, 52 Jackson, 53 Johnson. He goes both ways, and 54 Davis. And let me tell you what, there ain't a guy out there that's under 280. They are big.
So again, a healthy crew there for the Steel City Bobcats. They'll have 32 seconds to work with here before the break.
Now, if they were out west, that would be what you call a corn-fed Nebraska right there. It's that just taking a knee.
And indeed, they will look to run this one out. Just about 20 seconds left here. We almost make it official here. Bobcats are going to the locker room with a 7-3 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. And again, the Cobras defense yet to give up an offensive touchdown, yet they trail by 4 points going into the half. And that officially will bring us to halftime here in Lakewood. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll give you a scoring recap, talk a little bit more football, maybe try to find some scores from around the Tri-Point Football League. All that and more right here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network. We are back after this.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Halftime continues here at Garfield Stadium in Lakewood, where the Steel City Bobcats, they have a 7-3 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. Scoring in the first half went like this, 6:16 of the first quarter. The Bobcats would get on the board via a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown, and that would be followed up in the second quarter by a 32-yard field goal by the Cobras. Ben Lyons at 4:50 of the second frame. And, Coach, again, we see more of what we saw last week from the Cobras. Defensively, outstanding. Offensively, I guess just a millimeter off somewhere.
Yeah, they're just going to have to get the right combination in there, and they really are going to have to work on this offense. And again, this is no disrespect to anybody, but those quarterbacks really, really have to look over the field and see what they got and take what they're giving them. And I see them trying to force some things. Don't hold the ball long. And again, as far as, you try to get a little bit at a time, get them backs up, quick stuff, because they're coming at you. They're sinking backers, they're sinking everybody to try to get to the quarterback. So you got to get rid of things quick. When they were running those quick slants, they were going right down the field, and then they got away from it. So I think they need to do more quick stuff, especially when they read the field and your slot receiver, your defensive back is 15 yards off, and your linebacker's still on the corner of the line of scrimmage. So for him to even take a step and throw, it's got to be there every time, and he's got to recognize that.
Some scores from around the league provided by Dave Ferris, who's working out in the Youngstown area. Looks like the Ohio Gladiators, they get the win over the Mahoning Valley Rough Riders by a score of 19-14. And we saw the Rough Riders last week. Not a bad football team. A lot of guys that we know, and a lot of guys we were happy to see last week. We had the opportunity to speak with them. But, again, what they lack maybe in execution, they play very hard, very fast. And it seems like they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the key to this. Have some fun. And they had some injuries. Dave Pringle was off with a knee, and, he knew better to sit it out. But overall, it's going to take them a little bit to get it together. But I'll tell you what, overall, they really did a good job on it. They hung there. I think they just need a little bit more time. Maybe adds a little bit of peace here and there, and I think they're going to be a good football team in the future if they hang.
Some other scores from around the league. It was the 2022 Tri-Point Football League champions, the Greensburg Golden Hawks. They get to win over the Kings by a score of 27-0. Don't know if that's a final, so don't quote me on that. All I got on this is the Pittsburgh Saints get the 28-0 win. And we'll have to check who their opponent was. Actually, we have that up on our scroller, so we have to check the schedule to see who the other half is. We do appreciate you, the listeners, sending us in the scores. So although we joke a little bit here, we do appreciate the effort. Also, the Beaver County Arctic Bengals, they get the win over the Leviathans by a score of 41-0. I have to assume that's going to be a final score. But nonetheless, 41-0 either way, that's going to be a long day.
Yeah, that's sometimes you just got to pick your chin up and just keep fighting and doing. You got to get better. That's all. I mean, you can't expect as a new team or a team that's been in only the league 2 years to come out there and be 10-0 or win it all. It's going to take time, and it's going to take an effort by the players and coaches.
And we'll keep checking around for some updated scores here as halftime continues. Just about 4.5 minutes left before third quarter action here on Western Reserve Radio. We're going to step aside for a break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Third quarter action coming up here from Lakewood, Ohio, as the Steel City Bobcats. They have the 7-3 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. And the Bobcats would get on the board first via a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown. And the Cobras would get on the board in the second frame as Ben Lyons would put one through the uprights from 32 yards. And that's where we leave our score. Bobcats 7-3, and this kind of falls, where we thought it was going to be, Coach. We talked about it on the way up. Both teams in defensive battles. Last week, this is their strong points. Really not unexpected.
No, but Cleveland's got to get their offense together now. They're trying to find the pieces. They need to find something. They just got to start clicking and getting together here. They just seem like they're a little bit off. And before the kickoff, there was a little bit of governing going over with the officials. They were huddled around them, and of course they were telling them what a great job that they were doing and pointing down the field.
And certainly, to be quite honest, they haven't done really a bad job. They really haven't been part of this game.
As a matter of fact, I just want to say that we were at the office today and working on a little piece of equipment when John Luceni and his wife came in and got some propane. He's another thief with the stripes, as I call them.
So we are underway here. Third quarter action here is Willie James and Bart Evans back to return. It'll be Evans on the return. He'll bring us out to the 15, near the 20. And he'll pitch it forward to Willie James. The flag will come out. And don't know if that was even necessary. It was a decent return, Coach, but you can't blame Evans for trying to make a play.
Here we go with special teams again. Here's the key to this. When you cannot hesitate. Just get what you get. You have to have a view of what's set up. You already know if there was a play called because there's obviously you can't just run down the field. So find out where your blockers are, make a decision, and go. Don't pitter-pat. And that's what made it bad. And then, of course, he went to get hit and shoveled it forward, and that's going to be, I believe, 5-yard penalty from the spot. Jim, is that?
And I believe that's what it is going to be. We'll see. They'll mark it back from the 15-yard line. Looks like they're actually going to place it, I believe, at the 13-yard line. Again, a little bit of an angle issue for us here up in the press box here, but nonetheless, the Cobras will start inside their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10.
This is a beautiful facilities, great little press box for a junior high team or whatever they play here. It's just outstanding. I'll tell you what, I wish I would have been coaching and had this kind of stuff for my junior high.
Calhoun and Johnson now in the backfield. Carter being a pistol formation. Calhoun to his right, or to his rear. Johnson to his right. Twin receivers to the far side now. Edwards will be the slot receiver. Boyd will be the receiver to the near side. This time it'll be a handoff to Calhoun. He'll pick up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for the Cobras.
They're coming off. I'll tell you what, that defense is quick, and they're making moves. They're stepping out and then bring underneath, and it's thrown off the offensive lineman. They have got to have a nicer base, and they've got to engage and get their hips turned. They know where the ball's going and what hole they're going, so they got to turn them hips and then engage and run them out of there. Can't stalemate. You got to move these guys.
I believe it's going to be 2nd and 8, but our down marker somehow ended up behind the
behind
the gain, and all right, we'll go with that. So twin receivers to the near side. It'll be Calhoun and Boyd. Calhoun will be the slot receiver. T.J. Johnson will be to the right of Carter in the shotgun. Twin receivers to the far side for the Cobras, 14:06. Carter now firing out to the flat. That's going to be caught at the 18-yard line. We'll see where they give him the progress. Actually, they'll give him the 19-yard line, and that'll make it a much easier 3rd down.
Again, is what I spoke. Now, yeah, it's 2nd and long. They're giving you the slant, hit the slant, because the backer or the corner on that inside off the slot is just not there, and they've not walked anybody out, so it's wide open every time.
Receivers 2 by 2 now. Again, it'll be Calhoun and Boyd to the near side. Johnson to the right of Carter in the shotgun. 13:26 left here, 3rd quarter. Carter back to pass, looking out to his left, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Nobody open. We'll call that a coverage sack, Coach.
And that's exactly what it was. His receivers are not helping him out. Again, I don't know why they're looking long on these. They have got to then, if they're going to do that, then just come out, plant, and go back to him. Get the 1st down. Don't go for broke when you're backed up. Keep getting chunks of yardage instead of that. And that's just, it's killing them.
Ben Lyons will come in for the punting duties. 4th down for the Cobras. 12:52 here on a running clock. Cobras trail by a score of 7-3. I don't know if the Cobras will be brave enough to go for a 1st down as the Bobcats did early in that 1st half. Steve Anthony in the snap. And this will be the all-important all-important snap as we're going to have a stoppage in play. Flag came out, but they want them to stop the clock, and looks like the Bobcats may have taken a timeout as we have a little bit of confusion on the field. 12:35 left here in this 3rd quarter. Cleveland trails by a score of 7-3. 4th down now for Cleveland. They're going to be punting, and it looks like Ben Lyons' feet will be just a yard or 2 from the back of the end zone.
I believe they did pick up the flag, Jim, because I think there was a timeout exactly when they counted, and I think there was one too many guys in the huddle. But if you burnt that timeout before that, they can't throw the flag. Correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I will go with that.
Make sure.
If not,
well, you were one that used
close enough.
You were one that used to carry that yellow flag. Come on.
Final score coming in as the Beaver County Arctic Bengals, they get the 49-0 win over the West Virginia Leviathan. That was the first team that Cleveland faced on May 20th in the Canton Hall of Fame Classic there at Walsh University. They get the win by a score of 20-3 on that day. Lions about halfway through the end zone. Anthony with a good snap. And it's going to be a kick going off the toe of Lions. He's going to get a hop, and it's going to actually take a Cleveland roll. Picked up at the 40, brought out to the 35-yard line, a cut back in. There'll be a flag on the play. And Abril Taylor picking himself up off the ground.
Before they even threw it, the timekeeper and I both saw that one coming. Blocked from behind, they got the flag, so that's going to go back 15 yards from that spot.
So good field position. It will still be decent, but not as good as it could have been.
Should be beyond the 50.
12:22 left here. 3rd quarter. Steel City with a 7-3 lead here in this defensive battle.
I guess they called that a 10-yard penalty.
So it'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Steel City Bobcats will be 1st and 10 here in the 3rd quarter from the Cobra 45-yard line. Again, 12:22 left here. Week 2 of the Tri-Point Football League. Thank you to those sending scores in to us. We like to keep everybody updated as the sun starts to set here in Lakewood. Pistol formation now for the Bobcats. Some movement up front. Harlan Page threw his hands up. And they're going to say encroachment on the Cobras.
I disagree with that. He never got touched.
So
that's going this way.
So they're going to talk about it at midfield. The officials will get together again, college rules, with some NFL modifications in there. So we'll see how that's going to work out. And they're going to say that is going to be against Cleveland.
Oof.
So it'll be 1st and 5 for the Cobras. And they're a little confused.
Jim, can we run a replay on that? Doggone if Dave was here.
Yeah, well, Dave's watching on his TV back home, so maybe he can take a look. I don't know.
Yeah. Dave, if you can see that, let me know, because I don't really believe he touched anybody.
Tight end right now for the Bobcats. So handoff up the middle off the right side. Big collision right around the 36-yard line to make it down to the 34. And that should be enough for a Bobcat first down, and indeed it is.
And I'll tell you what, they walled that down and kicked out, and I'll tell you what, that hole was wide open. These big guys are just engaging and just shoving people down, and they're just leaning on them.
11:54 on a running clock here, third quarter. Cleveland trailing the Bobcats by a score of 7-3. And same play, running off the end. Andy Code going to meet him in the backfield, and he'll lose a couple of yards on the play. It'll bring up second down for the Bobcats.
And that's what they need to do. They need to beat them big guys off, because I cannot believe that defensive line can't beat them off the line of scrimmage. That is just come firing through, not letting it get that offensive guard's hand on him, and he just blew right through there, head up, look where the ball, and bang, he took him right down. That's a great job by Mr. Cohn.
11:15 here on this Saturday night on Western Reserve Radio.
Beautiful night.
Twin receivers to the far side, one single receiver to the near side. Cobras have one high safety. Back to pass are the Bobcats. He'll fire it out, and it's going to be knocked down. Somebody got their hands on it, and I believe that's going to be Andy Code again. He's having quite the game. He and Harlan Page doing a really good job from the tackle positions.
I got to correct you on that, Jim. That was Harlan. He was on that side, so he threw that way, so it had to be Harlan because Cone was on this side. I think he rushed him,
and that'll be the second batted ball of the day by Harlan Page. Again, he's turned out to be a big-time player here so far. I mean, a lot of fun to watch.
He's all over the field. And I tell you what, his quickness and his size is really doing what he needs to do.
He even punted last week.
Yeah, and did a good job,
yes,
actually.
He did. Change sides of the field for the Cobras. So again, they'll have one high safety, twin receivers to each side. Bobcats now with the clap, back to pass. Firing out to the left side. That could be picked off. Couldn't reach over to get it. And I believe that was going to be Eric Bankhead on the defense. Just couldn't get his body turned around.
Yeah, but that was okay. I would take that all day because if he catches that, he's down at probably about the 5-6 yard line. So I'm good with that. So let's see what we got. They wanted to bring the punt. Yeah, fourth down. They wanted to bring the punt team in, and they're saying, no, we want to go for it. Now, big number 7 said, give me the ball, run behind this horse.
Again, a very Adrian Peters looking kind of running it. Very tall, not something you normally see at that position, but gets low enough, runs parallel, and picks up yards. Defensive battle here, so the Bobcats willing to gamble on this one. It'll be Neal and Burl Taylor, the defensive ends, Page and Code, the tackles up front for the Cobras. And one high safety, Bankhead working the markers. Bobcats now setting up, and it's going to be Burl Taylor going to bring him down, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. There was nothing open for him, and he got what he could, but the Cobras starting with better field position than maybe they should have.
Well, what I think they tried to do is they tried to spread them out, and we talked about earlier about the quarterback draw, and there was a linebacker there, and when he went through, he kind of hesitated, but the end was right there, and he did an outstanding job. Taylor did a great job on that.
Burl Taylor doubling defensive end and tight end today, and we talked about his height and his reach. That's where they kind of miss Robert Littlejohn here. We talk about Littlejohn as that Jason Taylor type again, tall, rangy, but unfortunately not available today. 9:37 left here, third quarter. We are all stalemated again at 7-3.
A lot of time for Cleveland, a lot of time.
Certainly. Twin receivers to each side now. Dave Thompson at the quarterback position now. He'll be in the shotgun. Emma Calhoun to his right. They'll hand off to Calhoun, trying to find a lane. He'll spin, get out to the 40-yard line. He'll take one shot and pick up a couple more yards after that. And that's what you like to see from Emma Calhoun as he stays low. But I don't know how to describe it because he's very bendable.
Yeah, he is. But here's the thing. I noticed when he comes through, instead of hitting these guys with their shoulder pads, wrapping them and bringing them down, they're bumping them. Guess what? A good running back is not going to go down with that. And this is where the problem lies. You got to learn. And again, this is the new era back to when I was there. You hit, lift, and drive. You don't see that very often.
2nd and 4 now for the Cobras against Dave Thompson back at quarterback. Calhoun to his left. Stacked receivers to the near side, twin receivers to the far side, and moving right to left on your devices. Thompson waiting for the snap. Back to pass. He'll pump fake. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be caught at the 43-yard line. Looked like it may have gone down. The officials are going to talk about it, and they're going to say incomplete. And I believe they may have gotten that call right.
Yeah, I think they did, Jim. It looked like, I tell you what, if he'd have got that other hand underneath it, that would have been an outstanding catch. Just a little bit behind, but I'll tell you what, it was close, and he almost sold that. He really almost sold that I caught that.
Trying to work for that Academy Award. Almost pulled it off.
I'll tell you what, though, that was a good throw. Again,
Did you say good job by the officials?
I actually did.
Okay.
Okay, mark that down, everybody. That's one in the last 3 years.
Calhoun again will be to the right of Thompson in the shotgun. Twin receivers will be Boyd and Edwards to the near side. They'll send Edwards in motion from left to right. Thompson with the option run. He'll try to get out to the right side. He'll pitch it. He's going to get it to Calhoun, who's going to take it down the sideline. He's going to leap to the 30-yard line. We'll see where they're going to mark it at, and indeed it will be at the 30. 1st and 10 now for the Cobras.
That was almost picture perfect because he waited. He took the hit, bailed, and pitched it, hit him on the dead run, and that's how you run option. That was like the old Texas Longhorns when they used to run that option all the time. They were amazing at it back in the day. That was perfect. Little Arkansas Razorbacks, too. Mr. Ronnie Calcagney, he's from Cheney High School. He used to run that real well.
1st and 10 now for the Cobras at the Bobcat 30-yard line. 7:24 on a running clock. Pistol formation now with Thompson still at quarterback. Calhoun to be to his rear. TJ Johnson to his left. Thompson with the snap, stepping back, fires downfield, looking for a man in the corner of the end zone. It's going to be a battle and be knocked away, incomplete with 7:07 left on the clock here in the third quarter.
See if I could get a number on that.
Boyd, the intended receiver on that.
I tell you what, this Jameer Lofton, they're picking on him, but I'll tell you what, they have not got anything on this young man. He's doing a great job defensively.
Clock continues to run here, 6:58.
They're also getting the quarterback a little bit more time, and that's a good thing.
Boyd will be the receiver to the far side now. It'll be Wise. And Keyshawn Bacote, the receivers to the near side. Calhoun will be the running back to the left of Thompson. Thompson stepping up to the line, going to maybe change a few assignments. 6:30 left here, third quarter. Thompson looking at the pressure shown at the line. He'll take it himself, try to get upfield and get what he can. He's going to lose a yard on the play. And he'll be knocked back, but they'll only give him credit for a yard loss on that. 6:11 left here in the third quarter. I don't think they were really amused by the way that Thompson was taken to the turf.
15 needs to come out, his helmet come off, and he's staying in, so apparently the officials didn't see it.
5:49 as the clock continues to run here. Again, week 2 of the Tri-Point Football League. Normally we don't do a whole lot of camera work here, but giving you a look at what we're seeing here from the press box. Scoring update here, the Cleveland Rams and the Canton Hurricanes all tied at 6 at the half. Little surprised on that one as the Hurricanes make their return here in 2023. Thompson fires out to the side. He'll have Wise. Wise have past the 30, work his way down to about the 27-yard line. He's going to be upended. He might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, Coach.
Now, what do we do? Kick the field goal? Here it comes.
And indeed, Ben Lyons will get an opportunity at this one. I believe they got it marked at the 28-yard line. So it'll be a 45-yard field goal.
Give or take.
For the kicking specialist. And one of Coach's favorite people.
Count them up, boys. See, this is what I mean. Got to make sure that you got your people.
So I got to point this out. One of my favorite people in the world, Art Parker, watching us on Facebook, I believe, and just asked us what the score was there, Coach. All right, score's on the right side there, buddy.
There we go.
Gonna have to take a timeout. Timeout. Maybe. No. Okay. They're gonna say we're just gonna go with this, and
they've been pretty good at trying to get their people. So now he's counting. He's counting.
So snap is back. Kick is going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's going to roll down and be returned. It's going to go into the end zone. And it's still live. Cleveland's going to jump on it. Steel City left it alone. We'll see what the officials are going to say as officials are going to meet. Ball was live, tipped at the line.
Absolutely. That's a live ball. Went through his legs and turned around and stood. That's a touchdown.
Adam Rogerson's on the field signaling touchdown with 3:50 left here, third quarter. And the officials now are going to meet.
It's got to be a touchdown. Nobody downed it.
And we'll see what the call is going to be. Either way here, the officials are going to make 50% of the people in this place happy.
At least.
We're going to talk long and hard about this one, Coach.
Again, who knows what the rule change is, if there was anything.
The ball was returnable. Therefore, it's going to be a live ball.
It's a live ball. He didn't jump on it when it went through his legs. Cobras did. That's touchdown. That's got to be touchdown. It has to be.
Looks like we're going to get a call from the official as they're going to talk to Adam Rogerson.
Oh.
And they're going to say, I'm seeing a preliminary signal of a touchback. I don't know about that one, Coach.
No, it shouldn't be.
I don't know about that one. And I'm not saying that they are wrong, but, again, a returnable ball. And I think most famously done by Auburn.
How about or during a championship game when we block a extra point, run it back for a touchdown, and that coach was on the field just being so animated, and then somebody had to come and pick him up, carry him off the field.
Good times, Coach. Good, and they're going to say it's a touchback. So the Steel City Bobcats will get the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 3:50 left here in the third quarter. 20 receivers on the far side. Bobcats send a man in motion. They'll pan it off in the backfield. He's going to almost be thrown down, but he's going to escape it, and it's just going to get worse. And the Bobcats are going to lose probably 4 or 5 on the play. Well read by the Cobra front four.
But we got to wrap up. Don't worry about slamming them down. Give them a bear hug and ride them to the ground. Just, whipping around. That could have been dangerous because he got loose, but the rest of his buddies were there. So, gotta again, football's changed. A lot of arm tackle, a lot of that. Pick him up, slam him to the ground. Guess what? Now you get the oohs and ahs.
From Dave Ferris to the Greensburg Golden Hawks. They get the 47-0 win. I'm going to get it out, Coach.
You're all right, Jim.
Over the Steel City Kings, the defending Tri-Point Football League champions. Back to pass now. Under pressure. And finding some room to run will be the Bobcats. And then he'll be attacked by a host of white jerseys. Kind of fight forward, backwards, and it turned into a rugby scrum.
Yeah, you know what's funny is, I disagree but he kept going. But when your forward progress stops, and they got him, it should be over. One of these days, someone's going to get hurt real bad in this, and then they're going to stop and change the rule. But until it happens, I just disagree. I see it in high school. I see it in college. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Another score out of the Tri-Point Football League. The Outlaws, they lead the Longhorns by a score of 53-0. Mountain State Outlaws putting up 53 points today, not allowing none here.
That's some points no matter what.
We have a close one here as the Bobcats lead the Cobras 7-3. 1:52 left on the running clock here at third quarter. They'll get the clap under. Back to pass, under pressure. Going to throw it downfield. It's going to be caught near midfield. Break one tackle, get out to midfield, and get down to the Cobra 49-yard line. Looked like he was going to be brought down by Terrell Lively. As they'll set the markers.
Their quarterback, I tell you what, he's done an outstanding job. I mean, he has a gun. When he wants to get it there, he gets it there.
And the more time you give him and he gets his feet set, does a nice job throwing downfield. As the clock continues to run, 1:25. 1st and 10 now from the Cobra, 49-yard line. Twin receivers to the far side, one single receiver to the near side. That'll be Cam McCauley on the one-on-one coverage. Handoff off to the left side. Here'll be the big man for the Bobcats. He'll slide down at the 45-yard line. Pick up a 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Bobcats.
We got a big boy down.
And another score coming over from Dave Ferris. The Port City Spartans are leading the Ohio Bears 20-6 at halftime. Of course, that's where we will be next week, down in Portsmouth, Ohio, down at historical Municipal Stadium. We'll make the 4-hour bus ride down to Southern Ohio. As we'll injury time on the field. Beth Betancourt out there trying to help out. Trainer for the Cleveland Cobras. Beth recently blessed with the birth of her granddaughter. I don't know if Beth likes me saying that, but Beth is a grandma.
That's all right.
Congratulations.
When you get to be a grandpa, your grandma, I'll tell you what, that's the joy, because you know what? You take care of them.
She has been with this organization, I believe, for 13 years now in one capacity or another. We are in the 15th season of Cobra football in 17 years. Of course, we lost the pandemic year in 2020. It was, we'll call it a reset year in 2015, and then here we are. Twin receivers to the far side now, one single receiver to the near side. They'll hand off the left side. Get it down to the 41-yard line. Pick up a 4. 4th down now. We'll call it 4th and, well, they're actually going to give them the 40-yard line, so it should be 4th and 1. 3rd and 1, excuse me. Our ball marker is now on the line behind the line to gain, so it's given us kind of a weird
angle.
Depth perception issue.
That the quarterback is number 3, Ronald Browns. That's who we got over there. We're trying to get these numbers for you, people. Some of them aren't even listed.
As we come to the end of the third quarter here in Lakewood, Steel City Bobcats have a 7-3 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. Fourth quarter action coming up here in Lakewood. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 Network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Fresh 15 up on the board here as we come to the fourth quarter in Lakewood. In a close one. Bobcats now twin receivers on the near side, pistol formation, one running back to the right of the quarterback. They'll hand off the left side. Pick up 3 or 4. This should be enough for a Steel City first down. Bobcats with a 7-3 lead here in this tight defensive battle. And you almost feel like the Cobras are going to have to come up with something big on defense to win this game.
Yeah, there's got to be a turnover or something that's going to happen because all they're just going to do is pound the ball right now, which is exactly what I would do. They haven't stopped them yet, and I would just feed that big back, and I would just say, let's go for it, big boy.
Cobras have one turnover today. That resulted in a Bobcat touchdown. That went for 45 yards. That was at 6:16 of the first quarter. Hand it again, off again. May have picked up about a half a yard on the play. Second down now. Cobra's pulling the ball away, but I'm going to say the play was dead. Morris Dillard ended up with the ball, but
as long as your buddies are holding on to that running back, that's what you want to do. Get in there and pop that cork, grab that ball, and get it done. So they're doing it right. Get the runner first, then go for the ball.
13:46 left here in this game. Cobras looking to go 3-0 on the season. Bobcats looking to go 2-0 in the Tri-Point Football League. They got the win over the Pittsburgh Saints last week by a score of 7-6. Twin receivers to the near side, one to the far side for the Bobcats. Eric Bankhead will be one-on-one with the receiver to the far side. Back to pass are the Bobcats. Pressure coming up. Fires, and it's going to be dropped at the 34-yard line. Bankhead on the coverage. Not a bad throw. Receiver coming back to the quarterback, just didn't bring it in.
Exactly, and the throw was right there. I think he heard footsteps, but he threw it right to his chest. Perfect throw, perfect hand position because he had it cupped nicely, but I think he may have just heard some footsteps and just lost concentration.
13:07 on a running clock. 3rd and 10 now for the Bobcats from the Cobra 35-yard line. Twin receivers to each side. Shotgun formation for the Bobcats. Back to pass, stepping up. Going to step up in the pocket under pressure. Still looking downfield, going to fire, has a man open, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Steel City Bobcats, 35 yards. And that's going to put the Bobcats ahead by a score of 13-3.
I'll tell you what, Brown does an outstanding job. He kept his eyes downfield, kept his composure, and running right and hit him on the dead run. The DB gave up on the play. I think he thought the quarterback was going to run. You always go with the deepest man. Don't worry about what's happening in the backfield when you got somebody running down the field, and I think he took his eyes off of it, and he got behind him by about 5 yards, and he nailed him.
Bobcats with a 35-yard touchdown pass to take a 13-3 lead. They will attempt the conversion. We were on the right side of the field this time. We won't have to walk back. High snap. Kick is up. And it is good. So with 12:39 left here in the fourth quarter, the Bobcats take a 14-3 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tyree Knight, number 2 of the Cleveland Cobras, and you're listening to the Tri-Point Football League on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network. Go Cobras!
.12:39 left here in this game. Bobcats with a 14-3 lead over the Cobras. 12:39 left for the Cobras to figure something out, Coach.
Yeah. And again, short a man.
I believe that's going to be Tyree Knight back to return with Bart Evans. A high kick. That'll go towards Evans right at midfield. Big collision down here. He's going to pitch it off. And nowhere to go. Well, have a few tackles broken. They'll get out to the 25-yard line. Tyree Knight on the pitch. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cobras. Excuse me, they made it out to the 20-yard line.
Coming down the field, Daryl Glosson got absolutely annihilated around 45. We heard the hit up here, but that young man spun up, got up, and he went. He's not a very big football player, but I'll tell you what, he's tough. He took a shot.
Well, give that young man credit. He has a family.
Yeah, I hope so. Cleveland's got to be smart now. I got a lot of time. Don't try to go for broke. Short stuff. Keep moving it down the field and get it done.
Thompson still at quarterback. He'll have Calhoun to his right. Thompson in the shotgun. Wait for the snap. Option to the right this time. Pitch it out to Calhoun. Emmett trying to find room, but he's going to be swallowed up in the backfield. He'll lose a couple yards on this one.
Yeah, they tried to come to this side, but their speed of this outside is there. I think they need to just, these linebackers are coming. When they see these backers coming, they get audible to something short across the middle because they're leaving the middle wide open. So, again, there needs to be a hot coverage on that when they see that. Hot route, excuse me.
So it'll be a loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13 now for the Cobras. 11:57 left here in this game. Cobras trailing by a score of 14-3. Thompson now in at quarterback. Calhoun to his right. We'll have one receiver to the far side. That'll be Antonio Boyd. One receiver to the near side. That'll be Wise. Thompson now scanning the field, taking his time. He'll hand it off to Calhoun. Calhoun trying to find his way forward. He'll drag a couple of Bobcat players, get across the 20-yard line and down to the 22.
That was a good little run. He's calling off. Something happened to his helmet, busted something in the face mask. So
well, we have an opportunity. We want to thank Smoky Seafood and Barbecue. Sexy, sophisticated, and savory.
Got to go there.
That's right. 216-632-1506. Give them a call. Also naturally nourished. I want to thank them for their support of Cleveland Cobras football. 330-937-8399. Advanced Esthesia.
Like it.
I've never been quite that trendy, Coach. Twin receivers to the far side. Actually, will make that trip. TJ Johnson will be the inside receiver. It'll be Edwards and Wise to the near side. Empty backfield for Thompson. 10:48 left here in this game. Thompson may have drawn him offside. And again, it's going to be encroachment on the Bobcats. So that'll be a free 5 for the Cobras. They could use it.
Yeah, linebacker got a little nosy. He come running up there, and I believe that was, don't have a name, was number 8. Got a little nosy in there. He was anxious, and that cost him.
Also want to thank Gibson Elite Athletics, Cleveland's elite athletic training. Go to www.gibsoneliteathletics.com for more information. Trips receivers again to the far side. Wise and Edwards will be to the near side. Thompson now in an empty backfield, 10-18 on a running clock. Cobras trailing by a score of 14-3. Thompson now going to take it himself upfield, pick up a couple yards, be cut down at the legs. Got down to the 29-yard line. Ball came loose, but the line judge is going to say ball was down. Coach, you got to hold on to that. Really can't give him an opportunity. You never know what the official is going to see.
Yeah, he's saying he got the line. He didn't. He was short.
So still debating on whether this is going to be a first down or not. And indeed, they're going to say yes. It'll be first down for the Cobras.
Down. Okay.
At their own 30-yard line. 9.5 minutes left here. Want to thank Erica Marie Financials, LLC. Bookkeeping services and more. Give them a call, 330-785-5432, or go to ericamariefinancials.com.
They're going to have to get down and score pretty quick and stop them to get this ball back.
Johnson now to the left of Thompson in the shotgun. Dave Slap Thompson stepping up, making some adjustments here. 9:05 on a running clock. He'll switch Johnson from his left to his right. Thompson now back to pass. He's going to throw downfield. He's got Matt Wise open at the 30, 20, 10, 5, and into the end zone for the Cobra touchdown. 70 yards. And the Cleveland Cobras finally put up an offensive touchdown, and it comes at a great time.
And that was a great call because he had one-on-one coverage, and he saw something that he liked. And the speedster ended up beating that corner. I mean, beating him bad. And plenty of time up front, and that's what they needed. Get it going here now. They're going to make a football game out of this.
Well, the good news is you go 70 yards one way, you're going to have to walk back about 90 for the extra point.
Unless they're going for 2.
And that looks like that might be what they are doing. Down by 5 now. If they get the extra point, they're down by 4. And with a kicker like Ben Lyons, if you can cut it to 3 points, then this might be an opportune time to do that.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what call I would do because, I mean, right now you got them on their heels. You beat them long. Now let's get it done. I'm going to say a post corner route to the left side should do it. Let's look what the alignment is and then go from there.
So at 8:50 of the fourth quarter, it is Thompson to Wise for 70 yards. Pistol formation now as I believe that's going to be Edwards to the right of Thompson, Calhoun to his rear, one receiver to each side. Thompson now, quick pass over to gets the pop pass, and I believe, if I can get a number on that, I think that's going to be DeAndre Thompson, the tight end.
We talked to a coach about that tight end pop. There it is right there. Get it, dump it. They let him go. He didn't even sell it. He went right in there. They left him go, and that was amazing. That's a great call, Coach.
Cobras now trail by 3. And again, when you talk about trailing by 3 and you've got a weapon like Ben Lyons, that puts you in a pretty good position considering the day you've had.
They got to kick this deep, though. Don't try to do anything fancy unless you're going to pop it and find a spot for it. Load it up on the right side or left side, because right now to the right, to our side, there is nobody behind that front line. They're not separated enough.
Ben Lyons coming in to kick off for the Cobras. 8:50 left here in this game. And somehow or another they had to coax the returner to go back past the 20-yard line. I don't know if they've seen this young man kick before. 8:50 left here, fourth quarter. Cobras trail by 3. A lot of time left here, Coach, with 8:50 left on the clock.
Yep. Special teams, you got to get it done right now.
Lions now with the deep kick. That's going to be returnable from the 5-yard line. Bring it out to the 15, near the 20. And go backwards a little bit. A lot of missed tackles there, but eventually going to be brought down right around the 17-yard line. That's where the Bobcats will take over 1st and 10 with 8:42 left in this game.
Again, good coverage, but they're not wrapping him up. But he's a little wiry, he's spinning and everything, but we had enough guys down there that we were able to stop him. So that's the ball on the, I believe they're going to mark it on the maybe 16, 17-yard line.
Yeah, we'll wait and get a ball in from the sideline, and we'll figure that out.
That'll be left foot, right foot again. We'll see what we got.
And I believe that's going to be the 17-yard line.
17-yard line.
So 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. 8:42 left here in this game. It's been a defensive battle here, but the last 2 touchdowns coming respectively from the Bobcats and the Cobras come on long touchdown passes.
Now be smart. Deep is the deepest man. Defensive backs, don't be peeking in the backfield. Do not look in the backfield. There's no reason for it. Keep your guy in front. Let the linebackers in that front 4 come after him.
Terrell Lively will be the high safety for the Cobras. He's going to be an important man on this drive. 8:42 as the Bobcats step back to pass. They'll fire the ball downfield. Got a receiver wide open, but overthrew him. Going for all the marbles on that one.
We got to get that high safety over there. He's got to get over, and I believe that's
it's going to be Terrell Lively, the safety.
Yes, he's got to get over and give some help from him.
8:33, clock will begin to run here. 2nd and 10 for
the
Bobcats.
Sorry, Jim. Forstein needs a little bit of help on that, so he has got to see that. Quarterback keeps throwing to the right. I don't know why, and that's okay because maybe he feels strong to the right side. They got to have coverage on that. He's got to come over and move over. He's playing in the center of the field.
Pistol formation for the Bobcats now. Twin receivers to the near side. They'll hand off the left side. They'll try to get to the outside to the 20, down to near the 25-yard line, and they'll give him. They'll give him quite the 25-yard line, but. Let's just call it 3rd and 4 now for the Bobcats.
Now hold them here. This could be big.
7:44 as the clock continues to run here in Lakewood. Cobras looking to go 3-0 on the season. Bobcats looking to get their 2nd win in as many weeks in the Tri-Point Football League to stay undefeated.
I've been watching these linemen. I'll tell you what, they got quick feet, and they're getting these guys turned.
Back to pass to the Bobcats. Under pressure, and he's going to get away. Looking downfield, directing traffic, and it's going to be almost caught at the 40-yard line. And Eric Bankhead coming up to make the shot to keep the catch from being made. Again, receivers doing a good job for the Bobcats. They're coming back to their quarterback, but Bankhead doing a nice job coming up and knocking that away.
But I'll tell you what, Marquise Hodges got his paw in there. It looked like he may have had that, and then he flipped the ball at the last minute. So great coverage and that. Now, they have got to be smart here. They could be, and they could run this. They see something, so we got to be strong up front. I'd have everybody in the middle there just waiting and watching, making sure that we have a linebacker on those deep men, and make the 2 wings, making sure that there's no funny stuff because they'll do a direct snap, and number 7's back there. Those are the 2 running backs.
Tyree Knight back to return. He's going to be right around his own 38-yard line. 6:43 left here, 4th quarter. Snap's going to skip off the ground, but no problem. They'll get the punt away. It's going to land, and they're just going to let it roll past the midfield stripe, and it will die at the Cobras' 49-yard line. 6:29 left here in this game. And the Cobras, not bad field position. They have an opportunity to take the lead here.
Now let's be smart here. Now let's run some clock. Let's get first downs. Don't go for broke if you can right here. You got them down a little bit here. They're chins are dragging because they weren't expecting this. So let's be smart. Quick passes. Let's go safe here. Got plenty of time. Just keep getting first downs.
6:29 left here in this game. Exciting game, Coach. It's been a great game both ways. Both teams capitalizing on the other's mistakes.
Good defensive battle, but now the offenses are all starting to click. Little slow start. So Cobras are getting it together here.
It'll be Wise and Bacote, the twin receivers to the near side. Thompson still at quarterback. He's going to hand this off. He's going to give it to Eddie Edwards. Edwards going to fight his way across midfield, pick up a few yards, and he'll be down at the 47-yard line. Be a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 now for the Cobras.
Okay, the offensive coordinator, the coach needs to take a look at that because they sunk the safety on that play, and there was nobody in the middle of that field on to the left side. They had 2 high safeties. They sunk him badly. Boy, if they had somebody over there, that was a seam that was 100% wide open.
5:56.
And I believe that was just adjusted. Coach was on the other side, was a little adamant about it.
Great audio here on Western Reserve Radio. Twin receivers to the near side, Bacote and Wise. Thompson in the pistol. Quick pass again. Out to the outside. That's going to be Bacote making a move inside of the 40 and down to the 35-yard line. He'll lose his progress there. And that should be enough for a Cobra first down. A little bit extracurriculars going on here.
Don't do
and
this.
there's the flag.
Here
and
we go.
And hopefully this is going to be offsetting because this would be a disaster for the Cobras. E.J. Bibbs is going to be removed from that pile as well.
This is going to be real interesting.
Well, for the Cobras, all you can hope is it's going to be offsetting unsportsmanlike.
We got coaches on the field, too. That's okay, we separated.
Flags coming from all the officials on the field. So Brill Taylor, he'll make his way off the field.
Okay, Coach, get off the field.
Coaching staff trying to keep everybody in check. Adam Rogerson on there.
Just calm this down. We don't want to ruin this game. Keep your heads on, people.
5:27 left here, fourth quarter. We'll see how they're going to impose these flags. Again, dead ball personal fouls coming up, or foul. We're not sure where this is going to.
That's just offsetting. They just let them play, and that's smart. Don't ruin this game over this. But they got to get what they should have done is had the officials should have sent both teams over and told them that's enough.
Antonio Boyd to be the receiver to the far side. Now twin receivers to the near side. That'll be Bacote and Matthew Wise. It'll be Edwards and Calhoun in the backfield with Thompson. I don't know if we got the whistle for play or we're getting. Clock is continuing to run. I don't know what. So. Okay, somehow the officials need to probably stop this clock. They need to get that signal to stop the clock here, as they were confused as if it was gonna be a first down or not. So while the officials have done,
they did a good job on that. They actually did. They should have. You're right. They should have stopped the clock. What the argument?
Yeah, a lot of time here though, as we keep an eye on the signals up here. Thompson now in a shotgun. Calhoun to his left. Edwards will be the wing to the right. Quick pass over the middle. It's going to go off the hands of Edwards, and he knows he should have had that one. That would have gone for a little ways. The clock will stop with 4:32 left here in this game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was wide open. He could have got some major yards. There's that tight end pop that me and Coach talked about before.
We talked about the height and from the tight ends and that.
Yep.
Edwards actually at the wing on the right side this time. Almost the same thing for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And you just got to haul that one in, Coach.
Oh, it was right there. Nobody said they're not watching them, and that's exactly what you got.
So it'll be D'Angelo Thompson and Boyd, the receivers to the far side. It'll be Bacote and Wise to the right side. Thompson in the shotgun. Calhoun, the running back, will be to his right. 4:32 left here in this game. Clock is stopped on the incompletion. Thompson on the read. He'll take it himself, pull it. He'll go off the right side, trying to find some room. He'll get out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Flag on the play, Coach, and I think this one may be coming back.
Oh, it's coming back. It was right in front of the official, and it was not good. We got to hold badly.
And judging by the body language, I think it's going to be Brandon Antall.
Yeah, he got him.
The offensive lineman. And
if he would have just let him go and kept running with him, let go to the jersey, I think everything would have been fine. But he didn't. When he went to when the defensive end went to turn. He grabbed a jersey right in front of the official, and that's a no-no.
Get you every time there, Coach. He'll bring the ball back to the 44-yard line. Second down now. Called 2nd and 19 for the Cobras. 4:11 on a running clock. Cobras trailing the Bobcats by 3. 14-11 is the score.
Now you got to get at least half of this. Be smart, though. They're up tough.
Thompson in the shotgun. Calhoun to his right. 2 receivers to each side, 2 by 2. Thompson scanning the field. And he's going to draw one of the Bobcats off sides. Thought it was going to be a free play, but they'll get a few yards back on the 5-yard penalty.
19 saying, it wasn't me. I don't understand. I didn't jump offside. Look, he's a little bit. He's saying, I was there. I had a little bit of room.
Here's what I can tell you from the experience on the offensive line. If I say it wasn't me, it probably was me.
Was you?
It was probably me.
Yeah, now, guess what? Back in the day, that ball would have been snapped anyway.
Well, under NFL rules, that would have been a free play if the officials were to let that go.
But Mr. Mizell Arrington would have saw that, and that ball was coming back. Mike always had to make sure them hands were open because he's centering it.
One of the smartest centers at this level. As Thompson now waiting for the snap. Calhoun to his right. Receivers 2 by 2. 2nd and 14, pump fake, throw it out to the flats. It's going to be caught by Boyd. Boyd trying to work his way back to the 40. May have lost a yard on the play, actually. Looked like there might have been a little hand across the face mask, but they're going to let that go here with 3:34 on a running clock.
I'll tell you right now, if that man could throw a football, a double pass is wide open because they are flying to that. So if he can get a ball, if he could push off, get back, and if anybody could throw a double pass, my Lord, we get a receiver to the right here running a post across the middle. That's there all day.
It'll be Boyd and D'Angelo Thompson, the receivers to the far side. It'll be Bacote and Wise to the near side. Calhoun still at running back, Thompson at quarterback. Deion Carter, the starting quarterback today. Thompson coming in and out a couple of times in the first half, but he has gone the whole fourth quarter here, I believe. Thompson back to pass, 3-step drop. Looking downfield, he's going to fire into the end zone. He's got Wise, and Wise couldn't bring it in, couldn't get positioning. That's going to stop the clock with 2:36 left here in this game.
They got to get the first down now. They have no choice. Don't go for all. Get the first down.
Eric Wallace will check in for the Cobras. And it looks like the Cobras are going to take a timeout. So we'll step aside for a quick break. 2:36 left here in this game. Steel City Bobcats with a 14-11 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. You're listening to Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia1 Network. We're back after this.
Hi, it's Mark Means, host of By All Means, Tuesdays at 5, right here on Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Come out to the 36 beautiful hole design course by Donald Ross, and golf lessons are available by calling the team shop at 330-740-7112. Don't forget about family fun nights on Friday and Saturday evenings, a family of 4 with cart for only $25. Or visit the Wick Recreation Area and the lighted Par 3 course. Book your tee time today at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
.236 left here in this game. Cobras trailing the Bobcats by a score of 14-11. Fourth and, well, we'll call it 16, Coach, here for the Cobras. This will be the game for them most likely with 2.5 minutes left. As Antonio Boyd will be the receiver to the far side. Bacote will go to his slot on the left side. Trips receivers to the near side. That will be Thompson, Edwards, and I believe that's going to be Eric Wallace. The trip receivers to the near side. Thompson in a shotgun by himself, empty backfield. Thompson trying to draw the Bobcats off. He'll step back under pressure. Looking downfield. And it's going to be dropped by Eddie Edwards. And that's going to turn the ball over on downs for the Cobras. And I don't know that you could have asked for anything better right there. And Edwards knows he should have had that one as well.
Yeah, I think he would have caught that ball. That's a first down, if not more. Now, 2:29. They got to hold him here. I don't know what timeouts they have left. That could be real important right now.
Yeah, we didn't keep track of those, and guess we'll find out here as we come to the exciting conclusion. Here in Week 2 of the Tri-Point Football League, Cobras trail Bobcats by a score of 14-11. Scores coming in the first quarter on a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown by the Bobcats. That coming at 6:16 of the first frame. Second quarter at 4:50, Ben Lyons will put up a 32-yard field goal. Bobcats would go 35 yards through the air for their second touchdown. And then Dave Thompson would hit Wise on a 70-yard touchdown pass. As the Bobcats now will run the ball. Try to eat this clock up. 2:20 left here. We'll get a clock stoppage. On that last touchdown, 2-point conversion was good. As Carlos Alexander, Malik Grady would get the 2-point conversion. Cobras going to take their timeout, stop this clock. 2:19 left here in the game. Coach, overall, I mean, a fun game to watch. You know, you're getting your money's worth here. And then with Ben Lyons sitting on the sideline here, you just need that opportunity to take one shot downfield.
Yeah, you just, unfortunately, they started picking up. The offense came alive. Hopefully it's not too little too late, but the defense has got to step up and try to rip the ball out. But I'm going to feed the big boy, and I'm just going to keep pounding them. So far, they haven't really stopped them. So if they were smart, they'd keep the ball on the ground and not try to get fancy, because that's how you lose football games. Put it in the arms of your big boy.
Pistol formation for the Bobcats now. Two receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Lively will be the one high safety for the Cobras. 2:19 left here in this game. No handoff off the left side. A couple yards picked up. Brought down at the 48-yard line. And another timeout taken by the Cobras as they try to conserve some time.
And that's a good job by the tackle, number 51. That's Jones on this left side. He saw that he did not have anybody to the outside, and he knew he could wall it down. There was no hanger, and that's exactly what he did. He snapped his hands. Quarterback read it, changed the play, and big number 7 came this side, and all they did was wall the whole offensive line down, and depending on the linebackers to come up and make the play on him. Big down right here.
Cobras trailing by a field goal with 2:11 left here. Fourth quarter. Here on Western Reserve Radio, the iMedia1 network. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching us on Facebook or listening in on the Live 365 app or even Twitter. Appreciate you joining us today. Bobcats now getting a pistol formation, twin receivers to the near side. You got to assume they're going to run the ball. And again, going to be brought down, maybe a yard loss on the play. That'll bring up fourth down.
No more timeouts, though. That's okay. They'll have to punt it.
So, indeed, they will have to kick this one away. I'm sure they will not be in any rush. And at this point, Coach, you might even take the penalty for the
delay.
For the play clock.
Absolutely. That's what I would do. Just run it out, and I think that's what they're doing. Either that or going to, with a second go, that's what they're doing. They're going to smoke a timeout with 1 second to go.
With the way these kickers have played today, I really don't see the difference. And of course, for the Bobcats, the timeout's not nearly as important as they are for the Cobras.
Correct. And there's no more left, so they're really going to have to get the ball and go downfield. There we go. 1:21. Timeout, but they got to be smart because you don't know what these guys are going to do.
Minute 21 left here in this game. Bobcats take a timeout.
Personally, what I would do is you got to punt the ball. I'll tell you what. Although they ran a fake punt from about the 3 or whatever yard line, they had it on 5, and they got a heck of a run out of it. So I don't know. You really got to. You're giving them good field position. I say punt it away and pin them.
.121 as we come out of the Bobcat timeout. Cobras desperately looking to get the ball back as they trail just by a field goal. Ben Lyons hoping for an opportunity.
Offense is still in. This will be interesting. Are they just going to quick kick it? This is going to get interesting.
Receivers 2x2 now for the Bobcats. Shotgun formation, running back to the right of the quarterback. 1:21 left here. And again, it'll be a quick kick, and it's going to roll downfield. Away jerseys around and roll inside the 10-yard line. I believe that's going to go down to the 7-yard line. So the Cobras have 93 yards to go with 1:10 left here in this game. No timeouts left.
Well, they hit a, 75-yarder earlier. But I really got to believe that they're going to have their safeties pinned back. Give them nothing.
Yep. Indeed, Thompson hit Matthew Wise on a 70-yard touchdown pass. They get to 2-point conversion. Closing the gap to 3 at that time.
You're going to have to get it to at least a 30, 35 max.
Brandon Antall making his way to the field for the Cobras. 1:10 left here in week 2. Twin receivers to the far side and the near side. Quick pass out to the flat. It's going to be dropped by Wise. That'll stop the clock with 1:07 left in this game.
Got to catch them. Keep yourself going. Get yardage. It was a wasted down, and the only good thing is the clock stopped.
Couple of drop passes costing Cobras here in the fourth quarter. 4 wide receivers set for the Cobras. TJ Johnson to the left of Thompson in the shotgun. One really high safety for the Bobcats. Thompson will pass this out to his left. That's going to be complete at the 10, 20, out to the 22-yard line. Be enough for a Cobra first down. Clock will stop to set the markers. And the clock will roll now with under a minute left in this game. Thompson with Johnson to his right. Twin receivers to each side. Moving left to right on your device at 52 seconds. Play action. He's going to fire. He's going to be through the hands of Wise. Try to catch it on the slant, and that'll stop the clock with 47 seconds left.
That ball was right there. He took his eyes off him. He has got to catch that ball. You cannot worry. If you're a receiver, you're coming across that middle like that, going down a skinny post. You've got to catch that because you know you're going to get belted. But number one is catch that. Gosh, dang it.
So Bacote and Wise will be the receivers to the near side. Johnson in the backfield to the right of Thompson. 47 seconds left here, fourth quarter. Cobras trail by a score of 14-11. Thompson out back to pass, looking downfield, fires over the middle. It's going to be caught. Brought out past the 35 and down at the 36-yard line. It'll be enough for a first down. It'll stop the clock long enough to set the markers with 39 seconds left. Clock will begin to run now. 35 seconds left in week 2 for the Cobras. Thompson stepping up to the line, trying to change something. Thompson now upfield. He's going to fake the pitch, get to the outside. He's going to pitch it out to Johnson. It's going to go out of bounds at the 44-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 16 seconds left. Kind of an awkward option, but somehow or another, they picked up some yards and got the clock to stop.
Well, you're going to have to get it down to at least, I'm going to say 35, 30-yard line to give him a shot.
And stop the clock.
And stop the clock.
So 16 seconds left here in this game.
You got to have everybody running downfield. That pass is being thrown. You got to run. You got to tell them linemen, as soon as I release it, run.
Thompson now in an empty backfield. Trip receivers to the near side. Twins to the far side. 16 seconds left. Second down. Thompson back to pass. He's going to step up in the pocket under pressure. Forward pass is going to be dropped by T.J. Johnson. It might be the best thing that could have happened, as that'll stop the clock with 9 seconds left. Little Brett Favre shuffle pass there.
This is getting interesting.
Eddie Edwards going to check in for the Cobras.
This is when you were growing up, you were in that field and a bunch of you were running around, and this is what it looks like the last few plays.
Johnson will check out for the Cobras, as will Tyree Knight. 9 seconds left here in this game. Fourth down, actually, for the Cobras at their own 41-yard line.
Got to throw something to the outside. They don't have a choice.
So sidelines it should be, as Boyd and D'Angelo Thompson will be the receivers to the far side. Thompson will come inside. He'll be the wing to the left now. Dave Thompson in an empty backfield. 9 seconds left here in Lakewood. Good snap. Thompson back to pass. Looking downfield under pressure. Going to set his feet. He's going to fire downfield. And it's going to go out of bounds. They're going to run out of real estate with 2 seconds left. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. And the Cobras will suffer their first defeat here in 2023. Not that there weren't opportunities for the Cobras, but just couldn't put it together, Coach.
Yeah. Hats off. I'll tell you what. Steel City came. Good football team.
You know what? And a fun game actually played. I mean, you got your money's worth if you paid to get in here.
We had a little issue on one play, but I'll tell you what. Overall, clean game. Everything was good.
Again, you see a lot of the parity in the Cleveland-Pittsburgh teams, so like we'll call it the Buckeye and Keystone divisions in the Tri-Point Football League. The Mountain Division, the West Virginia area, there's a little bit different. As with 2 seconds left.
Here we go. This isn't good.
And temper starting to flare a little bit.
They need to call the game. Just call it.
And I believe that is probably going to wrap it up here from Lakewood. Cobras.
Just spin it. Yeah, you got a coach going, just spin it.
Cobras will move on next week to take on the Spartans down in Portsmouth. We will have the audio broadcast from down there in Municipal Stadium. Port City Spartans hosting the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras on the road for the first time this season. They'll try to rebound from this loss this week, but again, a great game played by both teams. Back and forth, a defensive battle, and this seems to be the MO of both these teams in the first couple of weeks as we've seen. Of course, I want to remind you this week to tune in on Tuesday at 5 o'clock for By All Means with Mark Means. And then on Saturday, it's Saturday Morning Sports Page with Pat Lucia and Dave Clark, providing insight on sports from around the country, at college and pro levels mostly. Dave Clark, a former player in the original United States Football League, played for the Philadelphia Stars, as well as had spent some time in Arizona.
I just don't, just end the game. Just end it.
And that will wrap it up here from Lakewood.
Well, we got a timeout.
Steel City Bobcats will get the 14-11 win here, and I don't know why there is a delay, but
just like I said, we've been in this situation. We tell the officials, if we have just run it, just end it.
No problem, and that will, I believe that will be the end here as the officials, I don't know what the discussion is. We're kind of being left in the dark here as Now that you mentioned the sun setting here, the lights on here at Garfield Stadium. Jim Craven with you, along with Coach Bob Gessler, having brought you Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio on the iMedia1 network.
So they're saying it's 4th down?
And that is a fantastic question.
Because I thought that was 4th.
Yeah, and that was what the marker indicated across the field.
So apparently not. Apparently this is 4th down.
Okay, so much to our surprise, ladies and gentlemen, this game is not over.
Yeah, we apologize, but we thought that was 4th down because that is what the yard marker said. So we're confused, but that's okay.
Calhoun and Bacote will be the receivers on the near side. It will be Edwards, Thompson, and I believe Boyd to the far side. TJ Johnson will be the quarterback. So I don't know if Johnson maybe has the better arm, trying to get to the end zone on this one. 2 seconds left. Back pass to the sideline. It's going to be to Thompson. I think it might play a little bit of back and forth. As Edwards now will have the ball, he'll work his way to the inside. Trying to pitch the ball, and it's just going to end up on the turf. And that will be the end of the game officially, as Cleveland tried to get a little bit creative there on 4th down.
Yep.
The outcome will not change. So at the end of 4 quarters, the Steel City Bobcats pick up the 14-11 win over the Cleveland Cobras. And again, some mistakes being made. You want to see that big jump from week 1 to week 2. But again, 2 good teams right now going at it. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, it was good. Overall, there was a little heated argument there for a while, but I'll tell you, overall there was good sportsmanship. Saw a lot of guys picking each other up, and you know that's what it's about. You know, guess what? The sun's going to shine tomorrow morning when you wake up. So this isn't do or die. And you ain't getting. You're not paid $500,000 for this win. So come out, and so far everything looks good in the lines, and that's what we like to see, sportsmanship.
We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll give you a scoring recap, and we will wrap it up from here from Lakewood as the Steel City Bobcats get the 14-11 win over the Cleveland Cobras. You're listening to Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia1 network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Golf in the Mahoning Valley starts at Mill Creek Golf Course. Mill Creek Golf Course is the host venue for the AJGA PGA Hope Program, 8 high school teams, and 2 collegiate teams. Mill Creek Golf Course is your Callaway certified golf club fitting facility. It was named the PGA of America's National Merchandiser of the Year for a public facility 2022. Book your tee time at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
And we'll wrap it up with Coach's favorite return music here as nightfall is upon us here in Lakewood. Steel City Bobcats get the 14-11 win over the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras suffer their first loss of 2023. Scoring went like this: 6:16 of the first quarter. Bobcats will get a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown. That will put them up by a score of 7-0. In the second quarter, Cobras would get on the board by way of a 32-yard field goal by Ben Lyons. They would go into halftime trailing the Bobcats by a score of 7-3. No scoring in the third quarter. Fourth quarter action. It was a 35-yard touchdown pass by the Steel City Bobcats. It would put them up by a score of 14-3. And then Cleveland would return the favor as Dave Thompson would come in at quarterback. He would hit Wise on a 70-yard touchdown pass. They would get the 2-point conversion, and it would make the score 14-11. However, the Cobras would not be able to get an opportunity to get Ben Lyons back out on the field for a field goal. And unfortunately so, again, you have that weapon on the sideline and not much you could do.
Yeah, it's how it goes. I'll tell you what, though, both teams played hard. Good sportsmanship. That's what you like to see. Yeah, there was a little bit of heat there for a second. Coach has got them calmed down, and that's the whole key. And then they got together on the 50-yard line, all knelt with their heads down and prayed, as I believe they did. And it's just that's what you like to see. You want to see them combative, but after that, game's over, 0-0. Let's go home. Thank you for coming in, and that's what you do.
And again, the Cobras will be back in action next Saturday as they will travel to Portsmouth, Ohio to take on the Port City Spartans. That will be at Municipal Stadium down in Southern Ohio. Stay tuned for all the updates on our social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and maybe even a little bit of YouTube this week. We'll see how that works out for us as we make the 4-hour trip south to bring you all the action here on Western Reserve Radio. So, Coach, through 2 weeks, some improvements here for the Cobras. Special teams definitely better. Offense really, with all the weapons they have to find that timing.
Well, I like what they did with the tight end and then the wingback tight when they ran those dumps, and boy, it was open every time. And it's a shame on that last drive. A couple of them, if they would have caught them, that may have been a little bit different at the end of this game. But overall, a little bit at a time, they got to get better.
Long way to go here in this Tri-Point football season in 2023. Again, we want to thank you for joining us here on Western Reserve Radio and the iMedia Network. And I want to thank Dave Ferris back in Youngstown for working and trying to get some of the scores for us to bring you here on the air. So for the coach, Bob Gessler, for Dave Ferris back in Youngstown, I'm Jim Craven. Again, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week as we make the trip to Portsmouth, Ohio for more Cleveland Cobras football. Everybody, have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.
Told you to jump on early on when we got the first goal was probably the best wager. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. More Live Bet Saturday coming up on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Gas prices are high, but you can do something about it with Berryman. A car's dirty fuel system can result in hard starting, rough idling, hesitation, and reduced fuel economy. And while many products promise to clean an engine's fuel system, only one uses high-energy solvent technology. Berryman B12 Chem2 Fuel Injector Cleaner Treatment. Berryman's powerful Hest formula cleans the entire fuel system. Get every mile out of every drop. Get Berryman B12 Chem2 Fuel Injector Cleaner Treatment at your auto parts retailer and BerrymanProducts.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
If you're missing the cash-in with Jason Page, then you're missing this.
Not to get all geeky, but his
No, get geeky, please.
A lot of his underlying stats, like barrel rate and just average exit velocity, they all looked great last year. It was kind of a, there we go. All right. You were setting me